Oh, we are back. What is going on, everybody? I hope everything went right through on your end. For some reason, my headphones didn't want to monitor my intro music, so I had to watch the bar on OBS, like the audio level bar. I had to wait until it, hit, until it stopped moving, and then I went, okay, I know we're about to go live. Regardless, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Good, The Mav, The Ugly. I am your host, Mav. You might know me as Spencer Bakula. You might know me as the editor-in-chief of Bounding Into Comics. You might know me as the host, obviously, of this very show that we have every Friday to kick our weekends off right. Remind everybody out there that despite the fact that all of our favorite franchises, all of our favorite pretty much everything, the world is on fire right now. But that doesn't mean, no despair here, no black pilling, all right? No black pilling. We're here to remember that there are good things, there are fun things to have. Or fun things to have. That sounds so materialist. Fun things to play, fun things to read, fun people to hang out with, like all of you beautiful ladies and gentlemen, either in the chat or in the VOD or wherever you are when you take in the show. I'm glad to have you. And guys, wow, this week, where do I even start with this week? Do you see how torn up I am? Or not torn up, but all over the place. It's not even my ADD going. There has been so much that dropped this week, from real world news to things we like to just, oh man, we have so much to talk about. It has been a week, right? Like just at the top of it, the entire blowout between Trump and Elon Musk, that was single-handedly the best day on that godforsaken social media site in the last 17 years. That is how long I have been on that platform. I had the best day yesterday, right? Those are the days that make the internet a lot, it's worth living for. Don't worry, I don't have the time to, go into it or sit here. And I think it'd be boring if I just scrolled here and looked at everybody else's reactions, but man, it's so funny. But aside from that, we've got video game news, we've got comic book news, this is the weekend of the Final Fantasy Magic set release. So I know I have friends right now getting ready to play their pre-release events. I've got my pre-release event tomorrow, which I'm actually kind of terrified of, guys, because for those of you who don't know, I play the format that's known as Commander, which is 100 card deck, one copy of every card, so on and so forth. However, pre-release events are played in the standard format, right? So it's 40, 60 card decks, multiples up to 4 of each type. I think I played that last in third grade. No, second or third grade. That was the last time I played standard. So it's going to be very, very confusing for me tomorrow. But the good news is when I go to that event, it is hosted at one of our friends. He owns a brewery. It's a nerd-oriented brewery. So with my ticket to the pre-release event, I had some beer, or there's some beer tickets. So I'll have some beer and I'll just go, oh, I have no, I don't know, man. You just tell me what's going on. I just need, if I don't get my Yuffie cards, anytime soon, I'll lose my mind. But that is, that's one of the topics we've got going on. Obviously, there's been a lot of video game news. Like I said, we have the Marvel Tokon Souls fighting game, as you saw in the thumbnail. We'll get into it. Obviously, my excitement at that is bubbling out. Just lots of stuff. I know you guys have a lot on your mind, and you know what, guys? I'm just happy to be here. It feels like this was a good week, right? Like this feels like it was a solid week. So I'm happy to have you. Hopefully I can kick your guys' weekend off right. Hopefully we can all have some fun here. And yeah, why not? With that, let's kick the show off. I was going to say, let's kick the show off and then get the show on the road. And it became some weird whatever the hell I just said. So I actually just realized, 1 second. Let me send out the Discord, or not the Discord link, the stream link to this stream, to the various places. And I already sent it out on Twitter, but give me your watch hours, I say to my friends. Give me your watch hours. All right. Pardon me. With all that taken care of, let us get into whatever you guys have on your minds. Let's say hello to the chat. Let's let's kick off the show on the road, shall we, ladies and gents? All right. First up, we have my man, Andrew Rodriguez, in the house. How is it going, buddy? Guys, I really hope you watched Foil Variant last night. It was... So, the main focus of our book, or the main book of our show last night, was the Ultimate Spider-Man Ultimate Incursion crossover. It started yesterday, and it's bad. Like, it is solidly bad. I would highly... I'm not going to get into it here tonight because Andrew and I spent like an hour on it last night. Go check out Foil Variant. It's a blast. It's fun. But that book is... We're already off to a bad start on like multiple levels. I don't know what the future is going to hold. So, aside from that, how is it going? Did you end up getting your Switch? Switch 2? I know you were fighting like 7 different lotteries to try and get it. I saw you yesterday, this morning. I hope you did, because as you guys know, our boy Andrew hosts a community night every Sunday where he plays Nintendo Switch games with his community over there in his Discord and all that. And they're all upgrading this week to the Switch 2, and I hope he can do it so we can play with them. Otherwise, I'm going to laugh as he tries to convince all of his friends, hey, can we put the Switch 2 down for a second and play Mario Kart 8, please, guys? I'm kidding. I don't even have a Switch 2. I have no position to talk. I don't really want one right now, but I hope that everybody out there who wanted one got one. I've been seeing that they've been way more available and in stock than you would normally think of a new video game console. Somewhere like we've got some in stock. I looked yesterday to help Andrew to see if I could find anything. All the Targets, right? Like around me, 1 or 2 in stock. We found a store in Texas, like a little bit away from the Rippaverse warehouse, where it was like, it didn't even say like 1 unit. It just said in stock. So it's a very far cry from the days where we used to have to go and wait out in midnight launches for the console. There used to be times, guys, where you couldn't even pre-order a console, right? There was no lottery ticket system. It was you go to the store and you buy one. That's it. It's a brave new world, bold new frontier, and I'm actually happy for it, right? Like, I think as a kid there is some level of like rite of passage to doing something like that, but now that I'm older, I don't want to do it, and it's probably better for. See, I'm always torn. There's the convenience and the fact that they don't have to spend like an entire night outside, dicking around trying to hopefully maybe buy a Switch. But then there's like the experience of it all. So maybe I'm just old man yelling at cloud. But I remember I did campouts for the Xbox 360, for the PSP, the Nintendo Wii, like the original one. I think that was all the... And then I've camped out, obviously, for various video games. I hate all the Halos. Pretty much those. I'm sure there's more down the line. The early 2000s were like 20 years ago. The early 20s were like 20 years ago, guys. So you're lucky I can even remember the fact that I played the Halo games. Get off my goddamn lawn. But otherwise, happy to have you, Andrew. Glad you're here. I hope you did get your Switch. And guys, tomorrow morning, if you are interested, Andrew will be on a stream pretty early in the morning here in America. But I think it's like 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. Eastern time. He will be on the Comic Aficionado podcast to discuss with a group of panel, or a panel that we don't even know the entire membership of yet. They'll be discussing the year thus far, right? Like 6 months into the year, what are the best comics? What are the least? He's him. He's going to be very intellectually honest. He's going to tell them everything, all the honesty. He's probably going to, not make friends. He's going to say Mary Jane as Venom is good. Gail Simone is the best writer right now. And it's going to be fun. So if that's up your alley, I highly recommend you guys check that out. I'll remind you at the end of the show. Obviously, we'll both be blasting it out on our socials and on our Discords and everything when it happens. But yes, not a Friday night without my man at least stopping by. We also have Zero. What is going on, Zero? Oh man, you called it so hard when the Marvel what was it? The State of Play, when that was happening, I was in like, I was having like a series of calls for various work things, yada, yada, yada. Wasn't paying attention at all. I just see a bunch of tags from Zero. And I'll admit this, buddy, like, this is totally in good spirit, but I saw like 3 tags from you going like, oh, you're going to want to talk about this. You're going to want to see this. And Discord, right? Like, or on mobile doesn't, I'll show your text in the preview, but it won't show any links or images. So I know, all love, Zero, but I went, oh my God, what online like drama bullshit is this? Like, I don't care. And then the second I actually looked at it, I went, oh, my life is about to get so much better and so much worse. So happy to have you, buddy. You called it. You got it right down there. Sakura says, I'm sorry about the yandere mess I made yesterday, Spencer-san. First of all, Sakura, always a pleasure to have you, buddy. Glad you're here. Wouldn't, it would be an empty room without you, right? Like, you're here every week. But, so, I bring this up specifically not to, well, A, to say hi to Sakura, but B, normally I would avoid even broaching something like this in public. I'm not going to get into the actual situation Sakura's talking about, but what I want to do here is just a side note. Spencer's Sailor Says, right? That's what they used to do at the end of the Deke dub of Sailor Moon. Remember, guys, always approach a situation, like try, I know it's so hard with the way the world is and how combative everything is to try and be nice to people or meet people, but it's so important when we get into conflicts to make sure when we're communicating with people, even if you're like angry, we got to give them like inroads to forgiveness. I don't know. What I'm getting at is, don't even trip about it, Sakura. It's all good. Obviously, that's why I didn't yell at you. I didn't, immediately blow up at you, but I said, hey, let's talk real quick, right? Because it serves none of us to just blow up at people, except maybe like, oh, I get the quick dopamine hit from having dunked on somebody. So don't even trip. Happy to have you. Let's keep rolling. Punk is here. What is going on? Not a lot, or nerds. Hey, amigo. Punk, happy to have you. Are you watching hockey tonight? I saw that the Stanley Cup is already it's already off to a bonker start from the few minutes I caught before we went live. So I'm guessing you're probably catching that. And I'm glad you are. I'm glad it's a good game. Again. Let's see. We've got Oki. How's it rolling? It is rolling damn well, my friend. We have a lot to talk about. Lots of good to talk about. Lots of ridiculous to talk about. It should be a fun evening. It should be a fun evening of hanging out, my friends. Let's see. Oh, Punk says, not staying long tonight since the start. The start for the morning matinee of Ballerina is at 10:05. Hey, again, as always, guys, whatever amount of time you want to spend here, I am thankful for every second of it. Just the fact that you wanted to give some of your time to on a Friday night to hang out with me, to fight, just at least be in a sphere, in a vibe, I guess, that is more positive, less, bullshit combaty as the rest of social media. Any amount of time you guys hang here, it means the world to me. That being said, I've been hearing really good things about Ballerina. I really, 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 really want to watch Ballerina. I don't know if I ever will. I'm sure I've talked about this on the show before, but like it's not the bounding curse, but like the intellectually honest media like curse is that I don't get to watch a lot of good things, right? Like, I have to watch fucking Black Panther Wakanda Forever just so I can know, what is everybody talking about? Are they being honest? Am I going to look like a dipshit if I say this fact, right? The best thing I watched recently was Thunderbolts, which I loved, but I don't really get to go see good movies, because then when they're good, it's like, all right, everybody likes them. Nobody's really going to lie about this one. We're not going to get 700,000 clickbait thumbnails saying, oh, Ballerina bait and switched or whatever the fuck it could be. I have no idea what's in the movie. Just hearing it's good. I love Ana de Armas. She's great in kind of anything she's in. She was like the best part of that Bond movie that she was in, and that was only like one scene, right? Like, or maybe not scene, but one or I guess it's technically a scene. Whatever. When she's with Bond and they get like ambushed and everything. Yeah, great scene. She was great in that. Should be great here. It'll be interesting for me to watch this one in particular because I actually have a friend from high school. This is a pretty cool piece of Mav trivia. I have this friend from high school. She is like the coolest, like smartest person. Like she's just like everybody had one of the like someone like this in high school, right? Somebody who just we all knew was going to go on to great things, and just why is she wasting her time with the plebs? And sure enough, she is like a world-class ballerina, like an actual ballerina, performs all over the world in big stages. She's an academic on it. So I know a little bit more than average about ballerina-ing, I guess, about dance, but little context should make that movie a little more interesting. And then if I don't know something, I can be like, hey, what the hell is this? Am I that dumb? And the answer is yes, but at least I'll learn some more. So I hope it's good, Punk. I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, the John Wick series is so weird to me because in theory, like after one, we shouldn't have gotten here, right? Like in theory, a franchise like John Wick, you do number one and it's amazing. Two might be good, and then everything goes to dog shit after that. Like 3 and 4 is when you get the switch in actors to a younger B movie actor or something, and a switch in directors. Like that's what, in theory, that's what it should have been. But instead, they've been pretty good. And I know there's mixed things on the Continental. I know Chad Stileski and Keanu themselves, they're not like big particular fans of it. I hear some people are fans of it, but middling to middling to meh, that's better than holy shit, this is terrible. And then Ballerina's working. I'm skeptical on the Donnie Yen, like they're doing that spinoff for Kane, that's his name, the blind guy from 3 or from 4. They're doing a spinoff on that. Might be cool, not entirely sure. I know the one thing, I just remembered this, that is worrying to me, not about the quality of Ballerina itself, but just sort of like where do we go from here? I know that Chad Stileski said something about, so John Wick appears in Ballerina, and it doesn't fit into the timeline where obviously like John is dead. And so Chad was like, it's a different timeline, like story timeline. And I'm like, okay, good. Like, I understand that. I'm not against it. But once you start doing this, you start opening up the avenues for all projects connect to one thing or another, right? Like maybe this TV series connects to that TV series, but then this movie only connects to, the Marvel Comics, the DC Comics syndrome. So Godspeed to the Ballerina crew. And let's just hope this franchise does. I mean, I know it'll eventually get there where they're just making sequel after project after project, probably when Chad is gone. But until then, let's hope they keep hitting the mark, because we could always use more good stuff. Pardon me. Let's see. Oki says, not planning on buying the Switch 2 anytime soon. Might grab a Steam Deck instead. Yeah, Oki, that's kind of where I am on the Switch 2. I really haven't seen anything out of it that blows me away. For me, I'm one of those people who will only really buy a console if there is a killer app for it. All of my console motivations, whether handheld or console, have been motivated by like a specific game. For GameCube, I wanted Star Fox Adventures because I loved Star Fox as a kid. I don't care what anybody says. That game is fun. Yeah, it's not 64, which is like top 3 games of all time for me. But you know what? It's still fun as shit, and it's still got some of the best fur graphics we've ever seen in a video game. Good Lord. That was my GameCube. My PlayStation... Oh, we can go even further back. My PlayStation 1 was Mega Man Legends. My N64 was... I believe that one was actually Episode 1 Pod Racer. Like, I really, really wanted to play that game. Then my... what's after that? My PlayStation 2 was Kingdom Hearts. My PlayStation 3 was Metal Gear Solid 4. My PlayStation 4 was Metal Gear Solid 5. My 360 was Halo 3. My Yeah, so I need like I don't just go out and buy consoles and go like, oh, this is going to be my new platform of choice, because I guess I'm just from the era where I know that there's going to be a bunch of different consoles and they're all going to be stupid about it, and I know to better than to just like invest in an ecosystem rather than games to actually play on the ecosystem, because otherwise you end up with what happened last gen where the PlayStation 5 has bullshit, but everything is pretty much playable on the PC, and it's way cheaper and it's way faster, and you can look at boobies on this thing, right? So that being said, with the Switch 2, I'm not seeing, like, I haven't seen anything. They haven't announced anything that's like, I need that. I'm on record as saying, like, I'm not the biggest Mario Kart fan. It's fun. I really like them. Double Dash is probably my favorite of them. I just don't really get that jazzed about a Mario Kart game. And so for me personally, it's a big sell to say like, oh, you want to buy your launch console with the launch game that is Mario Kart World. And it's, oh my God. Oh, I'm so dumb. Hold on. Yeah, you gotta play Mario Kart World. You have to make that thing killer. And I'm just not really seeing that from World. There's some cool stuff, but nothing that's like, this is the generational leap we need. I want Diddy Kong Racing to make a revival. That is what needs to come back with your hat, like transforming ships and everything. I want to be able to pick a plane while like Andrew picks a boat and Zero picks a car, right? That game was the best, and they only made one really, really bad DS sequel and just kept pumping out Mario Karts. So eventually, I'm sure they've got something cooking that I'll want to play. I know Metroid Prime 4 is coming, and I am excited for that, but I'm not chomping at the bit I'm just not that big of a Metroid fan. I love it, don't get me wrong, but let's say I got like a limited edition, like a golden ticket situation, right? I buy Metroid Prime 4 and there's, oh, you won a life-size Samus statue or whatever. I would be like, hey, Andrew, do you want that? Like, anybody else, who can appreciate this more than me? So I would play Metroid Prime 4, but I'm not going to leap to it. I'm sure we might get a Zelda eventually, and then that gets everything going. But until such time, I don't really see a point. I've got my PC that we just built earlier this year, right, guys? And the thing is massively powerful. Switch 2 is cool. I'll get it eventually. Honestly, the most interesting game to me right now of what's been announced is Kirby's Air Ride 2. That is more of a killer app to me than Mario Kart World or Donkey Kong Bonanza or whatever else is on the console right now. One of the super expensive upgrades. There's also that part of me that is on principle. Like, I don't want to support their fucking price gouging. Like, it is not, I don't think that's okay. But I also, it's one of those situations where I know that I could bleat and bitch until the end of the world, but there are going to be, for every complaint I lodge, there are going to be 5 people who say, I don't really care, I'm just going to buy the game. And Nintendo's not going to roll back on this. Everybody went out and bought Switches. So I will probably be dragged kicking and fuming into the Nintendo Switch generation, but definitely not anytime soon, my friend. So for the reason for my brain fart there was I saw Corey in the chat because I was about to highlight one of his comments, and I was like, wait a second, I thought, didn't Corey say hi? And I didn't say hi back? And I did. I totally blanked over it. But Corey is in the house, like our favorite Disney Channel show. What's going on, friend? The only thing gayer than Spencer is that my vacation will be over this weekend. Those are the worst words possible. At least, hey, I saw you made it out to Fan Expo Dallas and you got to meet so many cool people, pick up so many cool pieces of merch, books and all that. You looked like you had a blast, so at the very least, it looks like your vacation went really, really, really well. So either way, well, you know what it is. It's Pride Month. Let's go. What other stream would you be watching? But I'm happy to have you, Corey. Wouldn't be a Friday without you, my friend. Let's see. All right. I do want to talk about that, Zero. I'm gonna pin it right now, but let's get through the chat first. Zero says, Mav, I've known you for a while now. I know what you want to see. I know. That's why I said, like, it was a knee-jerk reaction, me just going, like, okay. Because it was the 3 tags in a row, right? Because I know how you get, and I know what makes you excited. And yeah, admittedly, there's some times when you've sent things to me, and I'm like, okay, I'm loving that this person's, beefing it in the public eye. But there's, the far more often I go, come on, man. I got better things to do than focus on, 2 middle-aged men throwing shade at each other like teenage girls, like, unless it's Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and then it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. So that was all. Don't even trip, Zero. And then Zero says you want to see the cutest, or you wanted to see the cutest Kamala Khan ever designed. My friend, we will get into it when we get into Tokon Soul. She is so adorable, and it's not that hard to make her adorable and not make her insufferable. We'll get to it, but man, I'm so excited for this game. Ballerina takes place in the 3rd and 4th John Wick movies. Yeah, I know that, or I didn't know exactly where it fell, but the thing is, wherever John enters into that narrative, it doesn't chronologically make sense, right? So it's not a big deal. It really isn't. It's one of those things where once you open a door like that, you have to be extremely, extremely aware of, like, do not abuse it. Do not hide. Like, it has to be a very sparingly used tool. And that's kind of, I don't know if they have a plan for, this timeline is going to be that timeline or this timeline. I don't know that. And that kind of makes me even more worried that they just went, oh, we want to do Ballerina. Okay, just put it in a different timeline. Then you go, oh no, like, that's not a hardline thing. It's going to be open to interpretation by the studios, all of that crap. So that's all I fear. Again, it's not about the movie. It's not about Anna or anything. It is just, we've seen how this goes, right? We've seen how these studios go. Oh, there's my water. That's what I was looking for. Josh is here. The Continental, love it. Christopher Walken, I think, nails the role. I don't know who's in that at all. I know Mel Gibson's in it. I know it's a prequel series about Winston, the guy who runs that hotel. Literally, I just saw images of it for the first time last night when I had to pull up an episode to grab some images for a Bounding article. No idea what's in it. I've only seen the John Wick movies. That's all I got. But hey, Josh, how's it going, my friend? How is it going, my friend? Shinkai is here. What's going on? So even John Wick has a multiverse, different timeline. Can't wait for a dimensional sniper. Oh, my friend, you're speaking to my heart. That'll happen when the anime adaptation eventually happens, right? But yeah, you have to be really careful with these things. Otherwise, you start entering Marvel territory, and then are we going to get to, like, John Wick, Infinite Johns on Infinite Earth, right? Like, are we gonna have to do, like, a whole timeline reset where, I don't know, John does some ritual and, like, I don't even know how you would make it work with a crime thing, but I don't care. We'll see what happens when we get down the line to that point. Cool. Oh, Dante is here. What's going on, Dante? Just got back from Blues Fest in Millennium Park, and my white ass got its first sunburn of the year. I thought it was, like, super rainy and cloudy out there right now in Chicago. At least that's what my family was saying, unless that was, like, a couple days ago, and I just don't have a concept of time anymore, and it all ran together. But that's awesome, man. I'm surprised. Oh, I guess it is kind of late over there. It's almost 9 o'clock. Okay. I was like, man, you're already home? But I'm in the early part of the country nowadays. Corey said, I never had a GameCube, got a PS2, and went PlayStation since then. I was really lucky. So I've said this on the stream before. I did grow up pretty exceptionally poor, but my mom, we were poor by nature of, my mom had good jobs, but it was really expensive for a single woman to raise 2 kids on her own in California, right? So we had, like, she was able to pay for things, but then after the bare necessities kind of, we would struggle. So I love video games, obviously. I got a Super Nintendo from my grandma. I don't even actually know where it came from. I just had one day, and I played that all the time. Then, long story short, is I mostly my mom knew so many people and whatnot that I got a lot of charity in a good way. I'm not ashamed of it. People were like, "Oh, they don't have this. I'll buy them. I'll buy them out this. I'll help them out." One of the ones I always remember was, and I've told this story before, when Melee was coming out for the GameCube, right? I wanted that one. That was like, okay, now there's another game that I want to play on the GameCube. Like, we got to get it, Mom. Like, please, can we get it? And she went, okay, we'll do it. She scrounged up the money or whatever, and she went on eBay back in the day, and she bought a bundle that was like barely, maybe it was like equal MSRP, if not under it. And it was a GameCube, some controllers, box, everything, memory cards, games. Completely scammed her, because back in the day, and that you could do that back in the day because eBay had very, very lax user protections. So once they did it, they went, can't really help you. But then her like office mates all like took up a collection or whatever, and they bought us the GameCube. So that's the kind of stuff that happened to me. I had a friend who was super rich. He got a Super Nintendo one day, said, I don't really want my Genesis anymore. Do you want this? And I went, okay, yeah, like why the hell not? It wasn't until I got my own job at 16 that I started being on the cutting edge and getting my own consoles with my PSP and my 360 and my DS and all that sort of fun stuff. So yeah, like I don't blame anybody for staying in one ecosystem or another. It makes sense. I just know, for me personally, I've never gotten attached to a brand or a console because it's what I want to play on is very variable depending on what you have to offer me to play. So I'll play Halo on the 360. I'll play Metal Gear on the PlayStation. I'll play Zelda on the Switch or whatever. But I'm not going to buy the GameCube at first and go like, this is going to be my primary console. Let it all come in. Again, that's just my preference. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying that for me. I existed before the time of the console tribe wars. The console warriors didn't exist in my... Well, okay, that's a complete lie because I was the 90s. I was... Nintendo does what Sega can't or whatever. Or Sega does what Nintendo don't, right? Like, I was completely in the middle of all that stuff. So, don't listen to me. What else do we have going on? Corey says, I want to try Star Fox Adventures because he didn't have a GameCube. So I like it, but I also realize it's very not what you would want from a Star Fox game, and also a sort of very low character action game, right? Like, it's not too challenging or too fast in its combat. I still really like it, but I recognize why people didn't like it, and I know, just like fair warning, it is not for everyone. Yeah. I really like the Star Fox series because, like I said, Star Fox 64 is one of my favorite video games of all time. So I loved Adventures, I loved Assault, I loved the one, what was it, Command, that they put on the DS that I would play in class in front of my teacher's face in senior year of high school because I was checked out. I could poop out an essay in 3 seconds. I didn't need to pay attention. Let's see. Josh says, oh, my camera went crazy. Yes, Donkey Kong Bonanza by the same team that brought us Mario Odyssey. See, that's where we disagree here, or maybe not even disagree. Bonanza, to me, is like the most interesting of the launch things that we've gotten so far, right? Like, new Donkey Kong game, third-person platformer. Yes, it's by the Odyssey team, right? Like, and I know you and I aren't particular fans of that game, but at least it's something. At least it feels new. That's then give Donkey Kong a sidekick, put him in a new setting with a new gameplay style. That's what I always kind of want out of Nintendo. So it's like I have that, and then conversely I have Mario Kart World, which is just Mario Kart. So, all right, why are you doing this again? All right, 1 second, guys. We're going to close that. I am still here. Well, Okay, that's not what I need to do because I'm just going to pop back up once I take the cover off. So, can I put my rider up there? All right, cool. Let me clean this camera real quick so that I can refocus with you guys. But I will continue talking to you as soon as I grab my paper towels and my... Where is it? Oh yeah, let's keep drinking that isopropyl alcohol. Let's get our Fridays off right, my friends. But whoa, and there goes the green screen as well. That's crazy. Woo, 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 woo. All right. Now I'm sitting down, putting this back up. Oh my God, 2 time is the charm. I'm so good at this streaming thing, guys. Isn't this why you all tune in to hear wacky shenanigans behind the scenes? Okay, all right. Stupid. Let's see. Oki says, as Did You Know Gaming put it, the Switch 2 is an evolution, not a revolution. And that's fine. We talked about this. This was actually a topic we talked about a lot, like right in the weeks right before you started hanging out with us, Oki, which is I didn't expect anything hardware-wise out of the Nintendo Switch 2. I didn't expect any crazy gimmick. I didn't expect any, here's a new blast processing chip that nobody's ever heard before, and it's so powerful that it could even outsmart the F-24 Raptors or whatever. I didn't expect anything like that. For me, Nintendo is about the, they're the gameplay people. So I would want, if I'm getting something from Nintendo, I always sort of really want the gameplay to be tight, to have something fresh and interesting, even if it's something tiny, or even if it's not that interesting. It tries to do something, and yeah, that's what I'm not really seeing. Even with Bonanza, I'm not seeing, like you put it here, or as Oki relays from Did You Know Gaming, I don't have I'm just not seeing that from any of these games. They're all just sort of like, yeah, that's a Donkey Kong game. There's no, I don't know, give Donkey Kong bananas that do it like Princess Peach Showdown style, right? So he eats a special banana and he turns into Mecha Kong. I don't know. Something. Do something, guys. Bring back a new style like Paper Mario, or go, give something a complete genre flip. It's so hard with Nintendo because they put out the best, most innovative stuff, and when they do that, it is to the nines and you can't defeat it. But then they also really coast for a lot, and they're kind of really anti-business. So it's always, or anti-consumer. So it's really hard to give a proper read on that funny little trading card company. Dante says, I haven't even opened Steam since I rage quit RoboCop Rogue City. It's impossible to get through that game on a controller, and I don't do mouse and keyboard. You will be happy, though. I believe, I think it's for Rogue City. They just released a DLC, or like an update that introduces aim assist, but it's super strong aim assist that goes directly to the crotch on everybody. So I would definitely check that out if I were you. I know RoboCop fans loved that game. Our girl, Cult Classic Cage, shout out to our queen. I know she was all about that game for weeks. She would not shut up about it. It made me happy because she was happy about something, right? I was like, oh, hell yeah. Cassie doesn't have to spend her time yelling and bitching about whatever, like stupid news cycles, because she has something she's really excited about. Timon, what's going on? He says, hey, Spencer, energy is low, got a flu. Also, people already hacked the Switch too. Dude, I am so sorry you are not feeling well. Trust me, my heart goes out to you. You guys might know we didn't have a show last week. That's because I didn't get sick like with a virus. I ate something weird. I ate something wrong and my stomach was killing me. And then after that like spate of, what was it, 2 months or whatever in the beginning of the year and the end of last year where I was sick all the time, I bleed, like I have a bleeding heart for sickness. But either way, Timon, always happy to see you, my friend. You don't need to hang out, or you don't need to interact if you don't want to. I'm happy to just entertain you and say things that will make you go, no, Mav, it's not classic enough, and that'll get your blood boiling. It'll boil the virus out of it, and then you'll be back in action learning your Python tomorrow. But yes, as Timon points out here, we have already hacked the Switch 2. It is it's kind of wild that we did, considering how anti-piracy and whatnot Nintendo has become over these recent years, especially with the Switch stuff. The fact that we were able to get an exploit within 24 hours of a public launch, I need to see how they did it. I need to see the documentation. I am fascinated. It's going to open up a whole new world. What I'm personally excited for is hopefully this will open up the emulation, right? Like we'll be able to get the ID codes and all that thing, because then I can play some Switch 2 games. Yay! But yeah, crazy developments out there. Maybe they'll finally put a good game on the Switch 2, like Tokyo Jungle. Ocarina of Time remake is being rumored. They've been rumoring that forever. Maybe I've talked to you about this, brother, but I don't even really want like a remake. I'd be cool if they just took the 3DS, the Ocarina of Time 3D and the Majora's Mask 3D, put it in a bundle, threw it out there. They look great to me. I don't know what more we can do with the graphics or anything. Obviously, if they did, they'd have to fine-tune the controls for an actual controller. Pardon me. But aside from that, I thought they were pretty damn good, even if I don't personally like them. You guys know me. I am such a stickler for like artistic vision, artistic intent, the way people with old games or limitations would play around with everything. Things like what resolution they're putting in that background, they make that active decision to help influence the feel of whatever area you're in. So I'm always a big fan of just leave it alone, maybe give it some control. What do you call it? Like some fine tuning, quality of life. Maybe if you want to get rid of like some of the anti-aliasing and the jaggies, but kind of leave it alone from there on. What was it? There is, we'll talk about it. Or I guess so. Let's just talk about it. It's sort of on this whole topic. It's a free for all tonight, guys. We really have nothing. I'm in a good mood. We can talk about whatever the hell we all want to. But there is so as you guys probably know, I am a gigantic like Hideo Kojima fanboy. I've said it to you guys all before. You can't ask me to have an objective read on his work because it is just impossible to. He is all I strive for to be in my work. Like, he's just the coolest to me. And yeah, I know all of his flaws. I'm not stupid. I'm not saying he's perfect. But I'm such a fanboy that I know I could find a way. Unless you're being like, Mav, be real. I'll do that thing where I rationalize like everything he does. Oh, that was a really long-winded speech. You just don't understand, okay? Like, that's... He's evoking the tensions of the Cold War that were... And it's like, Mav, put your goddamn English degree away. I'm sorry that it's not useful in real life, but it doesn't apply here. So, on the... Yeah, big Hideo Kojima fanboy. Obviously, we have all seen, and we're going to jump over there. Stream buddy for tonight, Zero. Obviously, I thought you might like this, but... Like, Kamala is cute. Kamala is cute. I can't stand this model. She is fucking adorable. This Kamala is as adorable as Iman Vellani is, right? Like the real life Miss Marvel actress in the MCU. And if you guys have watched for a long time, if you guys know me, I am all, I'm all about that. So, Hey Jingo, see ya. I have no idea what you're talking about in regards to news. Thanks for letting me know. I'll check it out later. Heads up, everybody. Just because I've been running into this a little bit, this is not a condemnation of Jingo or anybody else. I like talking to Jingo. Jingo's a good person. But just so people know, I have when you guys send in tips, I definitely see them all, but I might not have time in that moment or in the day to drop everything and sort of talk to you guys and get everything. We're having some staffing, improvements over the coming weeks where I'll be more able to respond on time. But just know, guys, I'm not ignoring any of you. I do see it most of the time. If I do end up covering it, I will probably reach out to you and say, hey, I know I didn't reply, but we got it. So I thank you guys. I couldn't get a lot of these stories without you all bringing it to my attention. But I also just want you to know I have a big plate like going on over here between bounding and other life responsibilities. So work with me. I'll work with you. Tahillam, what's going on, my friend? Onimusha looks interesting. There's not a lot to talk about with Onimusha. That trailer did look really good from earlier today. It looks like it should be just a solid remake. I'm excited for it, but I'm more excited, my friend. Somebody wake me up when they do the Blade Warrior, like when they re-release Blade Warriors, Onimusha Blade Warriors, because that's their Smash-like, platform fighter, I guess is what you want to call it. But it's Capcom, so they have guest characters, and it's Mega Man EXE and it's Mega Man Zero. I used to rent that all the time just to play as those two when I was super, super obsessed with Mega Man EXE when it was coming out. Fun times, fun times. But more to the point of what I was talking about real quick, and don't worry, this isn't what I'm getting at, but Metal Gear Solid 3 is getting a remake. We all know this. Metal Gear Solid Delta, it's the first kind of proper Metal Gear project since Kojima left the studio, or more accurately, got kicked out of the studio, got kind of screwed over by Konami. And he went and he formed Kojima, Koji Pro. We got Death Stranding 2 coming out. I'm fucking excited. We'll talk about that probably within the coming weeks. But one thing when this was announced, this is one of my favorite games of all time. Maybe in a little bit I'll pull up my top grid. But when they announced this, I went graphic fidelity wise, this looks incredible. I can't argue with how well the models for Snake are, how well the models for Volgin or Ava are. And to the credit of whatever team is on it right now, I forget their names, they did properly understand Kojima's realistic design style, but also slightly anime design style, but not fully. But there was a point very early on where I probably have to let me pull up the video I'm thinking of first, because MGS Delta trailer where's no, I need the older one, Konami. This is okay. So a couple months ago, we got this trailer for Metal Gear Solid, or for Delta. This was during the Xbox showcase last year, during what was that, November, December, 11 months ago. Last June, whatever, don't ever expect me to do dates ever again. I should stop doing them on stream. I am not good at it. So this was the trailer we got back then. And again, everything looks really good, but if you're the sort of pretentious nerd like I am, you'll notice that the iconic piss filter, if you will, is gone, right? The one that made MGS3 look yellow, it was intentional to evoke that Cold War aesthetic, right? The dust, the cold horizons, the possibility of, the dust that blows up after you use nuclear weapons. It all went to that. So when I was watching this trailer last year, I went, this is pretty, but it worries me because clearly they don't understand the spirit of Metal Gear Solid 3. They're just going to go for the straight, make everything look better, but not understand how it's all supposed to wrap in and how everything plays and flows together. Sort of think about, guys, when we have, let's say, the super realistic video game, and then there's an anime guest character. You're like, what the hell? That's super weird. Maybe they look super well designed, and the model is great, and maybe they even make sense to be there narrative-wise, but they're so radically different from the rest of the game's graphics and aesthetics that you just know, this is weird. This is divorced from the actual spirit of whatever I'm playing at the moment. So, saw this, went, all right, guys, you have fun. I'm probably out on this one. I don't really want to see what other fucking changes they make to one of my favorite games of all time. Then, what was it? 2 weeks ago, we got this Metal Gear Solid 4 opening movie. And as you guys might have noticed, it's back. Like, they put the piss filter into this. It is back to that yellow tinted goggle aesthetic. And I saw that and I went, oh my God. I might have to eat every single word I said, because if they pull this off, it could be like, I might just cry. It could be Resident Evil 4 remake, Resident Evil 2 remake level of just super incredible game. I'm still apprehensive, but the fact that I saw that they understand, oh, we got to get the aesthetics. Even though everybody, all the casuals make fun of it, we got to put it in because that's the artistic vision. So I don't even remember where we were going with that, but yeah, do more of this guy. Oh yeah, remakes and Ocarina of Time. I care about that vision, and anytime it's done by a remake, unless somebody of the original team or the director or whatever is involved, I always feel like it's trying to capture what you think their vision is, which we can all probably get really close, but at the end of the day, you're missing that one last little secret sauce, right? You're missing that one thing from Kojima's brain where he's able to link a specific weapon to a random, like, Japanese ancient history bath ritual or whatever, right? Like, that's the thing that he brings to the table. So yeah, that's where we're going with that. Hopefully this turns out cool. Let's keep rolling. What else do we have to talk about? Or let's just keep rolling. I know what we're talking about. Talem says, if I get a console, it must be able to play stuff from the previous consoles of last generation. That's a big one for me too, Talem. I have in recent years, just accepted that that probably won't happen anytime soon until everything crashes and they're like, we need to move units. What do we do? It's all, push out the update that unlocks the backwards compatibility that's in there. Go, right? It's so frustrating, but we won't really get that anymore these days. So that's one of those things, like, I just have to eat my hat. Otherwise I would never play another video game in my life ever again. You know what I mean? However, if a console does say, hey, you can be backwards compatible, that will do that'll do so much for me to go, or for, pardon me. God, gotta stop drinking the carbonated stuff on stream, but it's just so damn delicious in this fucking hot Arizona summer. God. But if a console says I will be backwards compatible, I will leap to want to buy that. I'll be interested in it, even if I don't necessarily want something on it at the time. That's how much that means to me, right? Being able to play the things you've already bought, being able to, not being price gouged, as Corey's bringing up here, by successive console generations. I think it is really cool that we live in a world right now, right? Or in a time where you can have a digital library. As much as, yes, I absolutely hate the state of digital ownership right now, and I personally believe that I wouldn't say anybody go out and do digital purchases as things are right now, but conceptually, the idea of having your video game library at the ready, click download, there it is. You don't have to go dig things out. It's just right there. I mean, shout out to my guys who play on PC. That's what we do. We have all of our icons and we just go click, click. Oh, I'm playing Doom 93. Click, click. I'm playing Fortnite, right? Like, that stuff is cool. I just, I don't want to have to pay again and fucking again and fucking again and fucking again for each new console, release of it. In my ideal release sense, if you bought the game, send me a proof of purchase, 7 box tops and a proof of purchase of my game. And I will either send you a copy, you get a new, okay, let's say we're going from PS5 to PS6. You have the PS5 copy of, let's say, Metal Gear Solid 11. You go, oh, hey, Mav, we're upgrading to a PS6. Do you think we can get a thing? I would just go, this proves you bought it? All right, here you go. Free game. There's your upgrade. Or at the very minimum, just charge $1. I don't even think I would charge anybody anything unless it was unless I did something to it. You know what I mean? Unless I actually improve the game, I wouldn't feel right charging over what I already did. So, and yeah, that Corey, as you point out, remember guys, PS3 generation, 360 generation, even the Xbox One, all of those were pretty backwards compatible. I say pretty because the PS3 only had like one or two models that had that technology, and then they took it out. But all of those consoles, PS2, play with your PS1 games, early PS3, PS2, PS1, da 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 da. There was a PS4 that had backwards compatibility. All of that stuff went out the window, like Corey points out, once we started really getting into our digital ecosystems, right? Once they started knowing, oh, we can resell these games and people will buy them again, that's where all of this went downhill. And we can do all we can, and I encourage all of us to. Just because it seems, we're up against the waves and waves of consumers doesn't mean we shouldn't try. Doesn't mean we shouldn't talk to our friends and at all of our streams or whatever about doing better, Senator, right? It's it's frustrating. It's going to be rough, but it's sort of like, are you a man of principle or are you a man of or are you a fair weather? There's no good. You know what the hell I'm talking about. Somebody go revive Shakespeare. He'll give me a good idiom. Whatever. Let's see. Damn, he's behind. Oh, I'm really behind, guys. Don't worry. I guess. Okay, I'll run really fast. Let's see what's going on. What am I missing? Oh, wow. I'm really far behind in the chat. Okay, I was just getting to John Wick, the Infinite Johns and Infinite Universes. I'm sorry, guys. That's on me. I'm going to jump ahead, though. So let's see what we're all talking about right now. Let's see. Yes, Josh, that's exactly sort of what I'm saying. Like the GTA trilogy that ruined the all atmosphere for all three games. Exactly. They tried too hard to make the graphics more HD. They tried to sand off the edges of some of the controls and glitches, and it takes the soul out of it. It really is just that simple. It is a very, 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 just for all my creatives out there, it is a very, very risky, almost relatively dangerous thing for you to go back and revisit a classic of yours. I know that as an artist, you'll be sitting there and go, I should have done that better. Fuck, that would have linked better. You might even, I've done this with my own writings, right? Even though it's not one-to-one, it's more like conceptually for me, but I see something on Twitter and I go, oh, that's actually like a really good idea. I should have thought about that. And I try and rework it or something. I get the urge, but remember, it's all, that movie, that game is the experience of everything. It's a time period it's made in. It is the age of the player that is your key demo and all this stuff. So it is so, that's kind of why I know Timon and Zero are probably gonna like bust a casket for a second, but let's get a more relevant graphics on the screen for just this next little bit. It's a few. They're around here. Oh, that's what I wanted to pull up. Hold on, guys. I got this. Not sure what's going on in Brazil. A new flu epidemic. That ain't good. I'm not even like a conspiracy level or anything weird like that. Like, that's just, if that happens, which it very much does a lot in lots of countries. Ouch. What kind of commentary was that? I'm sorry your country that has historically had bad luck with diseases has another one. I'm kidding. Like, that sounded so bad though. We will. Let's get cool graphics, things that are relevant. Woohoo! There we go. There's Safer Sephiroth. So, as you guys know, all my FF7 heads out there, just quick trivia. This is new art drawn by Nomura for the Final Fantasy Magic release that's happening this week. It is a preview, apparently, of Remake Part 3 and a new form of Safer Sephiroth, where I was telling one of my best friends yesterday, I'm like, I'm kind of worried because this Sephiroth looks too serene, right? Like this version of Sephiroth looks, or of Safer looks too serene. And I'm like, he's fucking up to something. I know it. But that's what I liked about, I know a lot of people said, oh, I wanted a straight remake of Final Fantasy VII. And I heard you, like, I hear that. But I just don't, I think you go back and you try to do it and you're not going to capture all of that same magic or whatsoever. So I thought it was really, really smart of Nomura to do it's the same game, but here's a twist on it. Like, I think that is probably the best way you should go about remaking something. Unless it is a game that is absolutely like complete dog shit, but maybe there was something at its core. Then you can do a do-over on that. If you're doing like a full do-over on something, I kind of can't really back against that. But if you're just going to go, oh, I'm going to nitpick that, then you end up with walkie-talkies in E.T., right? Yep, of course, Zero. Reminder that the theme of Snake Eater was done to invoke 007 movies. That entire game is an homage to those, Goldfinger era, Sean Connery, Timothy Dalton, Russia with Love, James Bond films. Like that's a big thing. It's I think they even there's like a codec call where they even talk about it. Corey, my man. A man who speaks to my heart. Corey says, my only issue is that the boss looks too young. She does. Thank you. I'm sort of... Okay, I know I'm being like a little like Mav, like chill out. We all kind of thought that. My reaction comes from the fact, as we all know, being in the spheres we are, especially within the last year, so many people want to be intellectually dishonest. So many people want to shit on everything just to shit on everything. And I genuinely, Corey, have seen way too many people going like, the boss isn't hot enough. Like, what are we doing? And I'm like, you don't understand what the fuck this game is. You're just being a weird culture warrior. I love boobies. I love booba. I love all the fan service. Hit me with it. But I also know, like, time and place, people. Read the room. But I'm glad I'm not alone in that, Corey. Like, and that's one of those things. They're clearly making, like, actually changing things as they're working, as we've seen between the two trailers. Hope maybe this will be something that they're fixing, right? Like, they're not just going, here's what we have now we're working on more. They're going, this is active in development. We're going to be actively changing things, listening to feedback. It's awesome. Wow, that is red as fuck. Wow, that kind of hurt my eyes. Where is that cool shot of him sitting in the plane? Yeah, it's like the coolest. He's so cool. I love Big Boss. Or where do I start with that one, guys, right? Corey says, I've met David Hayter last year at Dallas Fan Expo, right? I think you told me that because obviously just we've been friends for like a year and a half now with that whole Discord community. I feel like I knew that, but that is still really, really, really cool. He's kind of an insufferable ass nowadays. Not even just like politically. He's just kind of a fart huffer, as most artists tend to get. I still can't deny he's a great voice for Solid Snake. I also can't deny X2 was a fucking incredible movie, and he wrote that movie. So Hater's got a lot of, he gets a lot of passes from me. To the fact, like, he's annoying, but I'll always get mad if you say we're not going to use David Hayter. Because I'm like, what? When they did that with Boss, with Venom Snake and 5 and Kiefer Sutherland and everything, okay, I got it eventually, Kojima. It worked. But man, was I a sour little butthurt fan for all the lead up to that. Oh man, what was I going to say? Oh, so you say, I've met David Hayter. I don't know if I've ever showed you guys this, but speaking of everything we are talking about right now, let me find it here in the Mav archives. Bum-ba-da-bum. I too have met someone, Corey, and everybody else. So a couple years ago, or not a couple, let me rephrase that story. Let me restart that story. Pre-pandemic, back in like 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, blah, blah, blah. I was still living in San Diego. I was living with my then girlfriend. Just That's all. Living in San Diego, but I would obviously go to Comic-Con a lot. And one year it was sort of like, we don't want to go in because it's a fucking nightmare inside of there and it's not fun. Comic-Con went from, ooh, sort of like a big treasure hunt of nerd shit that we can like dig through long boxes and racks of toys and find treasures or even things we didn't know, to now it's just kind of just standing in line. If you go inside the con, it really, really sucks. That being said, I'll see everybody there who's going to be there this July, as I'll be there on the Bounding into Comics on our behalf. On my behalf? Our behalf? Whatever, the site's behalf, whatever you want to say. So I'll see you there. But regardless, so one thing that has become really popular among just San Diego residents in recent years is go out into the gas lamp and just hang out. Right? Or that's the area, the downtown area around the convention center. Go out, you'll probably see cosplayers, there will be like live music, people will be doing stuff, and a lot of the con's events are now held at like remote locations. So like it'll be like a building over here or at Petco Park, and those ones that you don't need a ticket to go, they generally just have you stand in line. So one year, I went down with one of my best friends and my then girlfriend, and we're walking around and we're hanging out. And the reason we went down that particular day was because I had gotten us tickets to see Kojima give a talk about Death Stranding. It was a very small private thing. I don't even remember how I got the link. I don't even think it was through Bounding. It was super small, but it was Kojima in the like basement level of a comedy club talking about Death Stranding, about Koji Pro. Oh, it wasn't even Death Stranding. It was, he had just founded Koji Pro. So he showed off Ludens, the astronaut mascot he had. He showed that off in that presentation. That's where it was. But we go down, so we have tickets to that, and I go, well, why don't we go down early? We'll have dinner, we'll have some drinks, and then we'll go watch it, and then we can go hang out some more. And all three of us had tickets because my best friend loves Kojima, and while we were dating, my girlfriend actually got really into it because I was playing a lot of his stuff. So we're hanging out, we're walking around. All of a sudden, my girlfriend and my friend, they look down and they're like, where do we go next? Blah, 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 blah. And as they're doing that, I'm just like drifting, and I see us across the street. I go, I know that person. I bolt through, like I don't even go to like a light. I just like jump through traffic and I start yelling, let's see, will this go? Kojima-san! Kojima-san! And it is fucking Hideo Kojima and Jeff Keighley walking down the street ahead of the presentation. Like they are also hanging out. It's like 2 hours to showtime at this point. So I got to, say hi to Kojima, tell him how much of a fan I was of his games. I did shake Keighley's hand. I know we all have a lot of problems with Keighley, but there's still some inherent little charm I have for him, right? So yeah, this was my share. I got to meet my father. You can see right there, the Ludens is on his shirt. That's the first time anybody, I got to take you guys down. That's the first time that logo or that thing was shown off. It was so cool. But yeah, I got to meet Hideo Kojima. I don't have a lot of celebrity things. I really don't like doing that, guys. I really don't like bothering anybody, whether it's a friend and being like, hey, do you, can I borrow this? Can I borrow that game? I don't like doing that. I sure as shit don't like bothering celebrities, especially when I know they get it all the time. I wasn't letting this one go. There are certain people in like moments in your life where you're like, I do not care. I need to make this happen. I'm not letting this person go. I have to capitalize on this moment or I will regret it. And yeah, I got to meet Mr. Koji. I got to meet, yes, the giant picture with Kojima. Yes, I am a fucking giant. You guys know this. 6'3", 6'4", whatever it happens to be, depending on which doctor's office I'm in. But yes, I am a giant, and I was definitely jacking it in San Diego. City streets. Fun fact, Josh, and for everybody else out there, in that South Park bit, there it is. Obviously, we can't play the music because I will get my ass lit up by, who is it, Paramount? But every location right here that Stan goes to is a actual factual street. Like this right here, that's not just generic street. Like I know exactly exactly where all of this is. It's pretty damn funny. But, hey, Bert, what's going on, my friend? You know how we do. Just a couple of, proper Asian men. This photo is really funny, though, because my friends do circulate it around, and they're like, oh, look, Spencer finally met his dad. Like, wow, I knew it. That makes total sense. Let's see. I guess we'll pull that up because I don't really feel like having the dark borders there washing me out on the screen. Come, take a load off. Jerry Brown was a shitty mayor. Like, okay, that's 90s I can't start ranting about politics that A, I had nothing to do with, and B, cannot affect anymore. I cannot reach that stage of curmudgeonness at this early of a stage. It'll get there. I'll get there, but not yet. Tehillim says, what are your thoughts on Death Stranding 2? Death Stranding 2 is actually... Wow, I spelled that completely wrong. As you guys saw, we got that trailer, or not that trailer, but that clip we got today was kind of boring. I don't really want to show it. So, Death Stranding 2, it is coming out. It's actually coming out at the end of the month, which things are just fucking creeping up on me, guys. So many things are just like, I know that's coming, and then, bam, it is here. It is time to go. I don't know what it is about, like, these last few months, but I have lost connection with time. I'm excited for Death Stranding 2. I really wish I had more time to do a full proper replay of number 1. I really like number 1. Again, Tehillim, I really want to be able to give a fair read of that. I understand why it's not for everybody, and I understand, especially if you're going like, oh, Kojima did Metal Gear, that the shift in gameplay style is very jarring. But I'm a pretentious guy, right? Like, I love all of that shit, all that spooky body horror, Lovecraftian shit. You guys know I love that. You know I love dumb names like Die Hardman. You know I love just like glowy future shit. So, see, I'm admitting it to you guys. Don't do this to me. Don't ask me to give you a read on Death Stranding or Metal Gear, because I'm just gonna say, everybody go play it. Everybody do it right the hell now. Tehillim says, the prices of consoles here in Australia are nearly $800 to $900. It's crazy that's for both Xbox and PS5. The prices are disgusting. I cannot even fathom being a international customer right now. One of my buddies, one of my best friends, he lives in Canada, and he plays Magic the Gathering with us. And so when we buy our sets or we buy our cards, he's always paying several dollars more than us. So the collector's boosters that are coming out, which is just like a fancy booster pack, it's like MSRP $400 down here, and then it's like $600 or $700 up in Canada. It's to the point where I'm like, dude, can you please just drive down to the border? We will all fly up to that border. We'll hang out for like a weekend. We'll have a dude's weekend, and we'll give you shit. Like, it is wild. So I guess the big stamp and the recommendation I can give to all of you with that is invest in a PC. A mini PC if you have to. They're like $500. They will play almost anything. My friend, another friend, he bought a mini PC and he was playing Overwatch 2 on it, right? Like at pretty significant settings. He switched to Marvel Rivals, and now he plays that on his PS5 because he gets really hardcore into it, and he's like, I need to see every little pixel. But his mini PC flies, especially if that's all you're doing with it. It is a set. That's what we reframe your thinking, guys, because remember, consoles are basically just very specialized computers. They have a chip, they have a processor, they have a disk drive, they have internet connections, they have microchips. Now I sound like fucking, internet's a series of tubes. But once you reframe that and you go, oh, well then why don't I just get a PC and get the things I want to play that are on here, whether that's legal or illegally, however you want to define. We all got to define our sense of morality. We all got to come to our own conclusions in life. But personally, I will pirate the shit out of something. If I like it, then I'll go out and buy it. But I've been burned too much by too many video games nowadays. I don't feel okay. That would have been way too much of a mess, and I would have had an awful time after the stream. I have fucking Rogue Squad. It's not Rogue Squadron. What the hell was it called? I know, like, Tahillam probably knows exactly the game I'm talking about. Star Wars, EA, Squadrons. I bought Star Wars Squadrons. The EA. What window's open? Oh, bum, 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 bum. Like, I fucking bought this game at launch, alright? I know EA is a bad company. I know Disney Star Wars was shit. This game came out in 2021. I knew. But I still said, you guys are doing a Starfighter game. I will give it a shot. I paid full fucking price for that thing, man. There are probably more examples. I've been alive and playing video games for probably... This isn't to denigrate anybody out there, but I know a lot of my audience skews young, especially the ones who watch and don't chat or watch in the VOD. I've been playing video games and buying video games and all this stuff since probably before you guys were born. So I probably have a lot more of those experiences, but god damn does this one hurt. Like, this one is the one that still sticks in my side. Like, fuck, this one. So, like, this one really, really... This one and Burnout Revenge, right? Burnout 3, easily one of the best games of all time. I was so excited for Revenge, and it's not bad. It's just, it felt more like I unlocked a new map more than a DLC or an actual new game. Yeah, I'm just watching this now and getting mad because I'm like, I remember, I love pilots and planes, and I love X-Wings, and this is like my favorite part of Star Wars is all the space combat, and I was so excited, guys, and the game sucked enormous amounts of ass. Yeah, Timon says, tell me about the prices. Oh yeah, you and Zero talk to me all the time, right? That was a running bit we used to do in the early days of Foil Variant when it was, we had less people hanging out. Me and Zero and Timon, I would go, hey guys, tell me what you're on right now. We still have Jack, I'll get back to you later. No. Something to look at. There, Saber Sephiroth. We'll just hang out on you. And don't worry, Timon and everybody out there. I have not forgotten that there will be a Kabuto Studios, drive to get Timon's nephew like a cool, good Goku figure, and not for exorbitant prices. We'll do it. We just got to get to the point where anybody will actually look at our donation link and say, I'd like to give, help a Latin American boy achieve his dream of becoming Goku. Mm-hmm. That's a big problem too, as Josh highlights. That Doom 93 comment made me remember there's still no easy way to play Command and Conquer. Man, that game was the dog's ball. Dude, those are great. I love watching all the old cutscenes because they have like big actors in them in the FMV live action cutscenes. James Earl Jones, Tim Curry. It's really fun. Back when video games used to just be kind of wacky and didn't take themselves so seriously. It was great. That's why, like, shout out to GOG, right? Good Old Games. I got yelled at by somebody the other day because I guess, so we all know GOG.com, digital storefront that is really, really good about preservation. If you buy a video game from them, there is no DRM. You can have it forever. The installer is yours. If you're going to buy a digital game, I always recommend going to them. They do trade more in retro stuff than current stuff, but they're not that far behind from things that, we're playing right now. But I got yelled at because I called them Good Old Games in an article, and somebody was like, they're GOG now, you fucking loser. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, shut up. I still got it. I still got the name. I'm sorry they shortened it. Get out of my face. Anyway. But yeah, the way they do it, I would love to see them do more. Or they do this a lot. Like, they did it with Doom. They did it, or not Doom, Warcraft. Warcraft 1 and 2, the RTSs, and 3, I think. They put that up there. They're a really good repository for that stuff. I want them to get their hands on this, right? Like, they would be the perfect host for this. Timon says, I'm playing Breath of Fire 4 because of GOG. Yeah, exactly. See? Again, if you can, always get a physical copy of a video game. That's sort of becoming more irrelevant as we get into the age of, download on disc, right? Like, oh, you have 20% on the disc, go download the rest. Notorious offenders, including Metal Gear Solid 4, Devil May Cry 4, anything that's on the Switch right now that's not Cyberpunk 2077. All of that stuff, like, I know it's harder to justify buying a physical game now. And I know that in a retro sense, not everybody's going to have a old PC sitting around or even a PC with a disk drive. I know that because all the last couple builds I've had to do, whether for myself or for, friends, family, I hate it. It drives me insane because I'm like, you don't have a fucking disk drive. I have to buy I have an extra one. Or it's inside and everything, but I had to buy the part rather than it sort of being a stock option that everybody was talking about. That's where we've gotten these days. So if you can, always go for something like GOG, which, as I said a second ago, when you buy their games, that's it. They send you, you have your account, you can download it at any time, as long as the site's up into forever. But if the site does go down, you will, if you have the game file, there's nothing will block it. If it's an internet game, it'll just go. It will not freak out on you. It's the best way, short of these companies reprinting all of these games on a disc fully there and saying we're knocking all of this shit off. You know what I mean? It's the best option. Obviously, if something happens and GOG goes down, you couldn't re-download the game, then it's probably gone. But again, best case scenarios. Yes, a cup holder, Timon, okay, but also I want to be able to rip my fucking rare, stupid Asian movies that I have like a bunch of. I want to be able to rip all the weird... You guys, I don't really talk about it a lot because this isn't really that show. Like, I used to play music a lot. Like, in college, I was in, various pop punk bands. I still play a lot of music. I have I'm looking at my pedals, my keyboards, my amp and everything right here. So I have a lot of weird ass random fucking CDs I've picked up over the years, and I genuinely know that my copy is one of only like 5 copies of whatever recording it is left because it was some weird indie artist who gave up after that. But that's cool to me, and I need to make sure that I can always listen to that, or I can be like, Josh, check this shit out, and I can just send him the MP3 instead of being like, check it out when you visit America in 8 to 3, like or 3 to 8 years. I'm looking for a sale for a good external solid state drive. There's a lot, actually. I don't really have a good recommendation. I personally don't use external drives because I'm what you call a data hoarder, right? Like, I have my own network attached server running. What is its storage capacity at nowadays? I know when I was building my PC, or like rebuilding everything, I looked it up and I showed everybody, but there it is, 45 terabytes of a RAID 5 drive, which means technically if I've really unlocked it, that's like 90 terabytes I have just sitting right here of shit, because I have been here so long that I know when, oops, we delisted this game, oops, this comic book is out of print, oops, this album is not the same, like, this release of this album isn't the one we're doing anymore, bye. I've been burned. I've lived, guys. Learn from my mistakes. Always go physical. Always hoard your own data. Screw clouds. Screw digital. Screw all of that. You'll be better off for it. I promise. All right, so... What do you say, guys? You guys want to talk about some actual topics? And I know we're at an hour and a half, but you know what? I'm not cutting it to. I feel like we're going. I got a joy de vivre, if you will, for tonight's stream, and we're doing really, really well. There's a lot of things going on right now in Spencer's life that is making me very jazzed to be here with you guys tonight. So let's keep the party rolling. And yeah, see, that's another thing, right, Timon? Depending on your region, you might not have availability for physical games. It might be easier to get your digital downloads. There is no perfect solution. Unfortunately, there is no perfect solution. For example, I could have 7 different of these network drives and put all of my files duplicated across all 7. They could all explode someday, right? Like, and it's gone. So obviously we'll keep talking about it over the years. People will keep trying to find better options, but it does kind of suck right now. All right. Let's see. So I know I've been holding on to this for a while. Zero brings up, he brought this up a long time ago when I was opening the show. Oh, Zero says, oh yeah, will you... Sorry, hold on. Magic related. Oh, I didn't... Damn it, I'm stupid. Oh yeah, so Zero brought this up while I was going through the opening spiel, but this is probably the biggest story that's happening in comic books right now. So let's talk about it, and also let's give you guys the facts of what's going on, right? Because this is clearly a very explosive topic. Lots of people are jumping on it on all sides of all argumentative spectrums, and lots of people, unsurprisingly, are getting a lot of it wrong because they don't read comics and they don't actually care. They just want a bludgeon to beat their enemies over the head with. Pardon me. So, this week, where the hell is the book? In this folder. There we go. Move you over here so we can look at it. And we will jump to the comic window. All right. So, you guys may have seen that this week I kind of broke the news on this one. All right. So let's just, we'll take it from the top, and I'll let you guys know everything I'm thinking of and talking about. So let's, the big short of it, the headline here is that in the new Marvel Knights: The World to Come miniseries, we have been introduced to the next King of Wakanda, the next Black Panther, T'Challa's son, Katembe, and he is a white man, or at least, half white to some degree. He's got blonde hair, he's got white skin. It looks like in the coloring he might have blue eyes, but it's a little dark right here. We'll probably have to wait for subsequent issues. But it is routely not what you would expect of a Black Panther. So let's get some context, and we'll go in through. We'll get there. Or do I want to? I guess I should mention what I was like bleeding on about. But okay, this story came out. This was obviously an issue that came out on Wednesday. My Pakistani guy is able to hook me up with the comics for the week, like new releases, Tuesday at midnight, my time, or at least Pacific time, whenever that is in play. Again, I'm in Arizona. I keep jumping around, or I don't jump around. My clocks don't change, but I keep being put into different time zones because they don't change. Either way, so I saw this going around on Twitter, and I went, oh, I see. Like, this is going to be a story. I need to write this, and it's going to be big, but the book's not out yet. Like, people were seeing like a preview page. Some like shop owner took a shot, put it up on the internet, and I went, I got to be I got to be ready. So midnight comes, I get the story, I write it out, I shoot it out there. I was beaten to the direct punch by about 5 minutes by, I think, Bleeding Cool or something. I still had the best presentation of it because, check this out. Let me give you guys a little media lesson right here, just really quick. Although this might be harder to do now that it's been a couple days. But, yeah, it is. Oh, I can pull up the Twitter example because I took a screenshot of it when it happened, everyone. Okay, so as you can see here, when I woke up on Wednesday morning, 7:30, 8 a.m. or whatever it was. Here, I searched Black Panther White or whatever, and these were the 4 news stories, the only 4 that were up. That one in the bottom left is an interview from AIPT Comics from a couple days ago with Joe Quesada and Christopher Priest, the writer and the writers and the artist Quesada of this book. You'll notice that the other 3 are about the story, but Bleeding Cool and Comic Book, they just say Marvel Comics introduces a new Black Panther. Marvel has a new Black Panther. This is definitely going to cause headlines. This will cause headlines. They use pictures of T'Challa. None of that is going to immediately grip the audience, right? They're going to go, okay, they have a new Black Panther. However, if you look at mine, Marvel Comics introduces T'Challa's white son, Katema, as future Black Panther and King of Wakanda. And his fucking photo is right there. Obviously, mine blew up. It did gangbusters on our back end. This is like, I did a victory lap here clearly in this tweet, but like, get your shit together. It shouldn't be this easy for me to blow you out of the water. I mean, it should, because I am that great, but you guys, like, that's embarrassing. Like, come on. You're not even going to put his picture up front? You guys are bad at this. This is exactly why I don't do clickbait, because you can give... It's just about pulling people in. I don't need to clickbait. I can give you the facts, and the facts should be enough to make you go, what? Right? Marvel Comics introduces White Sun for Black Panther. That's all that's in my headline. But you see that immediately, and you go, holy shit, what? And you just got to get into it. So, let's get into... That's just me taking my victory lap. Bounding's been doing really, really well lately, guys. Like, we have been crushing it. All of my writers have been getting way better. They all Super Saiyan leveled up in the last, 2 months. I don't know where it came from. I'm proud of them. I've been working with them. But it sort of just all clicked a couple months ago. Fandom... Marvin, my dear friend Marvin, or my dear friends, Marvin, Jonas, WDW Pro, they are finally recovering that Park Place's traffic after the disaster that was John Trent's editorial, or editor-in-chief run. They're finally getting picked up. They're finally getting traffic. I'm so happy for them. And Fandom Pulse is completely eating shit. It is incredible. This is why, guys, if you are good at your work, just put your nose down and do your work. The people who screech and bitch and try to start drama, they will always eventually fail, because everybody will realize they are full of shit. So when I saw that, I was like, that's fucking right, baby. Like, that's right, baby. This is what I'm going to do. Ruler says, I still cannot believe Ryan Gosling Black Panther is real. The meme magic, guys. It has been a while since I've talked about meme magic, but it is finally back. We are finally memeing things into existence. It's incredible. So, yeah, let's get into this so we can get some context. Then we can talk about it from there. So, this series is called Marvel Knights: The World to Come. For those of you who might not have been reading comic books back in the day, in the early 2000s, Joe Quesada, the man who would eventually become Marvel editor-in-chief and be responsible for One More Day and all of that fun stuff, he had a very small indie comic imprint. I forget the name off the top of my head right now, but at the time he reached out to, I think it was 2001, he reaches out to Marvel and says, hey, I have this sort of label or this imprint that handles more mature, more 2000s-y stories, right? What do you say we team up and we, let me handle some of Marvel's less super popular characters right now? And they said, okay, let's see what you can do. And that led to the birth of what we now have as the Marvel Knights line. In the beginning, it was Marvel Knights Fantastic Four, Marvel Knights Daredevil, or no, not Daredevil, like Marvel Knights Fantastic Four, Marvel Knights Black Panther. Other books would eventually run into the label, which is going to be something we'll talk about later, like in terms of continuity. There are some Spider-Man stories that have the Marvel Knights label, and he's under the Marvel Knights label, but they're still 616 canon, right? Like, and then some of the Knights books aren't can't. It's very, very weird. I can't really be mad at this in particular because that was 25 years ago. That was sort of the infancy of, you know, licensing out and contracting with new studios and really having to revamp your characters for a new era that was so disconnected from the rest of them. So they get a little forgiveness there for how all over the place it is. But this line altogether, like I said, more edgy, but I don't want to say like mature or edgy, but I guess darker. You know, where if in a Marvel comic, Spider-Man would get hit, he's gonna, you know, fly into a wall. But in a Marvel Knights comic, if he gets punched, he's gonna have like a really fucked up jaw and a face, and you're gonna know like, oh, we're in serious trouble here. As part of that run, as part of that line, one of the probably the biggest breakout book of that line was Marvel Knights Black Panther, which was penned by a writer named Christopher Priest. Now, if you guys don't know Christopher Priest, he is a very, very prominent comic book artist, and he's a black guy. He's written Vampirella, lots of things, like just all over the place. He wrote all, you know, this Marvel Knights stuff. He wrote a bunch of good DC stuff. I know I have favorite books of his, but now that the spotlight's on me, I'm totally blanking on them. So I'm sorry, Chris. I know, but like I know I love your stuff. It's great. Anyway, Chris Priest's Black Panther run was actually it really solidified the Black Panther as we know today. Right? We knew Black Panther from the Fantastic Four days and all that stuff. King of Wakanda, smarter than everybody else with good reason, but he was still more of the like sort of like mysterious jungle guy. And then Priest took him and he said, nope, we're going to make this like, we're going to flesh this out. So we got things like the Dora Milaje. We got things like the, communing with the ancestors and all that stuff. He was really, really definitive on Black Panther. Because of that, unfortunately, and we know how the comic book industry goes, he started getting typecast really hard by both DC and Marvel into doing only black characters. For example, right before he left Marvel, he did The Crew, which is like all your black superheroes are hanging out together on a team. He did Captain America and the Falcon. They're good books. He's a fucking incredible writer, but it's very obvious. You go, oh, you put Priest on that because black guy, right? Black guy comic book. Okay. So mid 2000s, he decides, I'm going to take a break. Like, I'm going to step away from mainstream comics. I'm going to go do indie things. I'm really getting sick of this typecasting. New 52 starts rolling around. DC reaches out to Priest and says, hey, would you like to work on Firestorm? He goes, you know, I'm not super familiar with them, but from what I'm seeing, let's do this. Like, absolutely. If you guys remember, the original Firestorm was Ronnie Raymond, and it was Professor Stein and Ronnie, and they would, fuse together to make Firestorm, the Nuclear Man. In the Infinite Crisis era, Ronnie died, and the Firestorm Matrix went to, Jason Drush or Drutch or something like that, a black kid. Priest doesn't know any of this stuff, so he explicitly tells DC, he says, oh, a white guy character? I'm so let's see what we can do. Let's start working. He researches, starts digging in. The next day, Marvel drops off the sort of the pitch Bible that they want him to overlook and read. And he goes, this character is black. And they go, yeah. So, and that was sort of his last straw. He said, fucking absolutely not. He left the book, left DC. Funny enough, guys, you want to know who actually got the New 52 Firestorm book, in case you guys aren't aware? It was a 2-person team of writers of fucking Ethan Van Sciver and Gail Simone. I haven't, it's been years since I read it, especially with the developments that's happened between those two. I need to go back and read that run just to see what is between the lines there. I'm that catty bitch. Give me that gossip. So that happens. Priest says, fuck you guys. I'm out. He's still writing comics. Vampirella, other things like around there, really like hits on the Dynamite train, the Image train. And then 2018 happens, or 2017 rolls around, and the Black Panther movie comes out. And this book, at its core, is, or at least this Black Panther part of the book, is at its core Priest being super pissed off about how the move, or how like the entertainment industry keeps like using not using, but their depictions of black characters, right? Because he's like, why the fuck is like a technological utopia? Why is he wearing a loincloth? Like, what is this shit? Like, it doesn't make any sense, and it only doesn't make sense because you so heavily want to push, oh, Africa, tribe, and it's just like, Priest wasn't having that shit. This was, Priest was in this game even before Culture Wars or whatever. He just wanted to be taken seriously as a writer. He just straight up, kind of like me, kind of like a lot of our guys in here who are, not like non-white or whatever. We don't want to be the Asian writer. We don't want to be the female writer. We just want to be that writer. You're the good Green Lantern writer. Fuck yeah, I am. So you want to give me a book because you know I'm good at writing space characters. Not, oh, you're Asian, write Kenan Kong, the new Superman. Okay, well, I'm Filipino. It's not even the same level of Asian, but sure, dude, why the hell not? So when Black Panther comes out, Priest goes, hey, Joe, I have a lot to say about this. And he reaches out to, so he teams up with Joe Quesada, and they start working on this book. By both of their own admissions, they kind of lollygagged on it. More Quesada than Priest. But in development for about 8 years, now finally coming to publication. That's the stage that we are, opening the curtains on. With Marvel Knights: The World to Come, Priest is returning to that era of Marvel Comics. The Marvel Knights are a specific group, actually. It's the name that Marvel has used for their street level type folks. So, like Spider-Man, Daredevil, Moon Knight, Punisher, those guys, before there were things like the New Avengers or before Spidey was an Avenger or whatever, that's the classification they would go under because they were street level, but also because they had Marvel Knights line books. Because they were street level, it's a whole circular chicken and the egg thing. In World to Come, Priest is returning back to that timeline, and he's sort of just doing a future of the Marvel Universe. Now, this is what I was mentioning before. What we're about to get into, the continuity is there. I know what Chris Priest and Joe are doing, but I also know the meta publisher game that's at play here. So, how do I put this? It is like I said, every Marvel Knights book so far has been directly in the 616 continuity. No ifs, ands, or buts. This book is in the future, right? It's about 50 years or so into the 616 future. Chris and Joe are saying this is the Marvel future. Like, we are presenting you our vision of where all of this is going to go. However, while I know Priest is actually like, if I had my way, this is how the Marvel universe would go. I also know that we know comic book publishers, right, guys? We know how they will chicken shit out about things, and they will go, we're supposed to reset the entire Marvel universe. We're just going to bring Miles into the 616 because we really don't want to, like, screw everything up. So I definitely feel where the creative team wants this to be canon, the editorial is going to be too afraid to fully back this as canon, and they're going to leave it in limbo for a while until somebody wants to do a crossover and they pull out Katema, and then they go, oh, that was an alternate universe timeline bullshit, blah, 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 right? So it's really hard to get a beat on this. The way I've been approaching it is treat everything here as if it is intended by the writers to be canon, but with the understanding of how the industry operates. You know what I mean? That's kind of the best way to look at it in terms of continuity. But we'll get into the book here now. Essentially what we find is, so this is T'Challa. He eventually dies sometime in the far-flung future. We learn that in this future, Wakanda is in the middle of a giant civil war between a faction of diehard, like we are following the scriptures and the old traditional ways, like hardliner Wakandans, and then a more progressive, like, you know, listen to the people. We don't have to listen to like all the old traditions Wakandans led by T'Challa, like he always does normally. And it's very violent. You have terrorist attacks going on, suicide bombings, and we learn that this all stems back to T'Challa being challenged in one of the Wakanda ritual fights for his throne, for the throne of Wakanda. And he is challenged by his son, Katema. What we learn is that, you know, it's one of those situations where Black Panther keeps going like, I'm not going to, stay down. You're done. Like, give up. You're not going to win, Katema. And Katema goes, no, I'm going to fight you. The only way to shut down the entire affair is if T'Challa kills him. He's not going to do that. So Katema eventually just sort of like wears him out and beats the shit out of him. You can see it here. He just like wails on him and just like cracks him over the skull. And he's just like, I am like, the kings live within me. I am tradition, right? True kings. And after he drops T'Challa and he emerges victorious from the fight, we learn, as we show, boom, blue-haired or blue-eyed, blonde-haired, white-skinned Katema is T'Challa's son. It is. So first off, I wanted to go back to show you guys just how, like, not like seething, but like you can tell how much Priest hated everything that came from the Black Panther MCU film, because allow me to recount these pages, this narration to you guys. Quote, T'Challa, your king, was getting old. Whoops, I moved our stream, buddy. I should lock that for a second. T'Challa, your king, was getting old. Too old for these routine tribal challenges. But that was the rule. Leadership of the most advanced civilization on Earth, built around a mountain of the most powerful metal on the planet, was routinely decided by whomever had the best right cross. Like, decades before, the king had granted Wakanda self-rule. It was like giving nuclear launch codes to your crazy aunt. It would take generations for people accustomed to tribalism to mature enough to govern themselves. The king knew that, so he kept the ridiculous game, the tribal challenge. Paper covers ICBM. He is not, Chris, he is not happy about this shit. And I kind of fucking I really love spiteful creators. Like when they go to work for somebody and they're like, dude, I hate you and I'm going to make it your problem. You know what I mean? And oftentimes it makes me laugh even more because they go in with that full intention and the studio still goes like, yeah, this will be great for us. And it's like, this isn't going to be great for you guys in the end. Timon says, tiger skin in Africa. Why not? Aren't there tigers there? I believe so. That makes sense to me. They're in India and Asia, but I'm pretty sure there are tigers somewhere in Africa. If not, still a pretty cool costume. Rule of cool supersedes everything. But we also have this side plot, which is in this continuity, T'Challa marries Storm, as we all know, but they stay married and she eventually dies in a war. So then T'Challa goes back and reunites with his old love interest. Like, she appeared in 5 issues. I was pretty impressed on Priest on this one. I was like, oh wow, good deep dig. Goes back and proposes to her. We see that she eventually becomes pregnant. Clearly something happens because Monica is full black. She's always been black in the comics. No half ethnicities. So what I'm guessing we're seeing here with Katema, with knowing full well what Chris Priest is doing with this book, knowing Chris Priest's writing style, and just all the context of what we've been talking about, I'm pretty sure. So Katema is Priest going deuces, right? He's going, oh, I'm going to just shit all, I'm going to do the most egregious change to this thing because you guys will refuse to do any change to it. You will not let Wakanda grow. You will not let the Black Panther move past tribal bullshit. So I'm going to fucking throw him off that cliff. We're going to push him into that deep end. I feel like it's that. And then it's Priest also going, I'm going to show you what I can do not writing black characters. You thought this was going to, you think this should be a black character? Well, guess the hell what? It's a white character. I'm going to roll with that. So there's that subversion. In terms of like the actual plot, I'm sure Katama's either going to be like his son, or it's going to be one of those adopted son situations where he adopts some African kid and like finds him in the bushes or whatever, raises him up. Now he's challenging his dad. I don't think anything here is super. This isn't a 90 chess game here, guys, right? There is no culture warring, Trump's winning, the woke is on the run, or, oh, we have to, bow to all that. Now, it's none of that. This is one man who is going, I know I'm the shit. I know I'm great at writing comic books, and you won't let me. I will show you exactly why you're all fucking stupid. And so I genuinely expect this to have a good, this story, once we get into it, because it's only a mini series. I think it's like 4 or 5 issues. But once we get down the line, I'm sure we will, it's not going to be just a throwaway. Priest is too good of a writer, cares too much about his craft to just throw this out there and then not have a satisfying reason for it to be there. You know what I mean? We're not going to get to the next issue and have some bait and switch where it's like, oh, that guy was actually just fighting in Katema's stead, and he was, proxy fighting. It's not going to be that. It's going to be genuine. Whatever Marvel does with it afterwards, we all know we can't speak to that. As Oki said, nothing is sacred in comic books. He can put all the love and care he wants into this, and tomorrow they will just fucking make him a villain. Right? They'll erase him from continuity. Who knows? But yeah, it is. I think that, yeah, there we go. Finally, a Black Panther for me. Representation matters. Sakura says, are you lagging behind? I might be, my guys. I didn't see, until about 5 minutes ago, I wasn't seeing anything come in, so maybe the chat's being a little delayed. Hopefully not by much, because I want to talk to you guys. I want to hear from you. But yeah, Corey finally has his representation. Corey, you can finally cosplay Black Panther. It's going to be okay. It's okay. We finally did it. But yeah, this to me, obviously, let's all joke, because I do think it is fucking hilarious that we have our Ryan Gosling Panther, right? We can make all the jokes we want, and I encourage us to, because they're hilarious. But, at the end of the day, if we're able to sit down and go like, this isn't really any of this. This is one man's war on sort of neoliberalism and corporate, there's a term called rainbow marketing, right? Relevant enough because it's Pride Month, where that's what we call when the corporations go, oh, we're gonna here's our new rainbow VW bug or whatever, and it's like, you're only doing this to market. We know you don't really care about that. That's what Priest is calling out, but in a racial sense. Race marketing, that doesn't really sound right. But so it is as always, so if I have a takeaway from this, aside from just context that you guys all have, it's to, this is a good reminder of the fact that you always got to look into what you're seeing, what people are talking about, because dollars to donuts, you're probably not getting, if you're hearing very reactionary, very explosive things, you're probably not getting the full picture. You're probably leaving out, or the other person, the speaker, is probably leaving out certain details to make that narrative of their anger flow a little better. So always check things out. But it's also hilarious we have a White Panther, and I really am glad that it's Christopher Priest it is so intense. How can I not, that's my punk mentality, right? Fuck authority. That's what I'm talking about. They screwed you over. You are that bitch. Go show them. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do on Monday morning? I'm not scared. Oki says, still can't quite wrap my mind around the dichotomy of an advanced civilization deciding leadership via trial by combat. Bingo, Oki. It might be a cool, kind of like what Priest was saying in the narration, right? I can see this being a very cool element if you're doing we just became super technologically advanced. Like what he said, where he's the king kept the games to help them. You can't just let the kids out, right? You got to give them guardrails. You got to give them rules. So I like that idea, but then it's as you and Priest note here, we're so far gone from those eras. We need to move on from that. To be fair, the movie is not great. It's one of the worst Marvel ones, but Wakanda Forever. I love M'Baku. Like Winston Duke's M'Baku, no matter what he shows up in, I think he is just the best character. Like, he's so fun, embodies kind of everything we all think about everything. And yeah, in Wakanda Forever, he does really like lose his shit. He's like, what are we doing here? Like, this is so stupid. Like, can we just, like, please just elect me only so we can go to war? Because otherwise we are just going to fucking stand here. Like, what are we doing? And I was like, yeah, M'Baku. Unfortunately, the end of the movie, you know, he does go, okay, now that we're done, I can do proper challenge. Let's go. And I was like, man, why did you go back on that? Like, do actual change to Wakanda. But maybe, like, I would hope. Here's the thing with comics, as you know, Oki specifically, and everybody else probably does. I really, really, really wish this would lead to an actual change in how Wakanda operates and the lore, and let us move on in the Marvel universe. It's Schrodinger's box, right? Maybe Marvel will keep it, maybe Marvel won't. They are. It's that intersection. It's that thing we always talk about on this show about where, like, profit-driven, like, motivations meet creative desires, and they all just sort of like shit all over the creative desires, and things fall apart. So I really love Christopher Priest so, like, I'm just genuinely excited for him to write anything I see Priest name. It's like him, Grant Morrison, Mark Waid. Yes, guys, Mark Waid, his craziness aside, he is one of the better superhero writers still in the game. Like, those three might be the last of the, like, I see a writer on a... Oh, J. Michael Straczynski, of course, but he just does more, like, limited series nowadays. But those are, like, the four names... Oh, and Jonathan Hickman. Fucking duh. I see those names on a book, and I'm like, that's gonna be good. So, I trust you, Priest. I trust you. And he also said, you know, this isn't just gonna be a Black Panther book. It's gonna be a Marvel Knights book. So we're gonna... Like, I'm like, yeah, Daredevil! Let's fucking go! I want to see more Daredevil. Only way there is a tiger in Africa is illegally, or maybe a zoo. I could see Priest making some commentary about, like, Wakanda having a zoo, and then this guy, you know, in trying to blow up the order, goes and fucks up the zoo and kills the tiger. And I don't know, but I can see it. I trust Priest enough to, like, know what to do. Shinkai says went from Black Panther to Snow Leopard. I mean, Snow Tiger, apparently. If we want to get all up on... well, it's you. Yeah, if we want to get up all on your tigers in Africa. If we can't wait for the Albino Panther spinoff. I genuinely wonder, like, will they ever bring him back? Right? Like, will they... Volume Dealer will probably be around in a little bit, but, you know, you guys know he plays Future Revolution, right? Or Future Fight, whatever it is. Are they going to make him a character in that? Are we going to get a variant cover of Katemba next month or something? I don't know. And that's what I kind of really love about this, is that Priest is calling Marvel's... Priest has put Marvel in a position where kind of any move they take at this point that isn't just completely letting him have full reign of where this goes and how it affects the rest of the Marvel U, anything they do is going to be the bad move. And this is like Act 3, the walls are closed. Like, I love it. Go Priest, go Priest! Corey says, what's funny, a few years ago, I got into it with some rando on X about Rings of Power, and I brought up Black Panther, and he made a comment about making my own, quote, White Panther. Well, look what happened. You did it now, right? Like, so that's actually, yeah, I want to find that guy and bring this up. So, just to, like, address the sort of Black Panther of it all, and thank you for bringing that up, Corey. This is not to yell at Corey. He just sparked me onto another thought. But, so, in terms of that argument that we hear a lot, right? Like, why can't there be a white Black Panther? Why? I know the actual honest answer, as much as a lot of the reactionaries in our sphere like to dismiss, is that the Black Panther is very much an African character. His skin color is important to who he is. The location where he's from, that is important to who he is. That you really don't want to just go, I have a white Black Panther. Like, for example, if we did an Ultimate Universe again, like Ultimate Universe 3, and out of nowhere Black Panther was just white, and we all just went, same backstory, he grew up in Africa or whatever, he just happened to be a white guy, it would be strange. And even if you were, obviously we're not like that, we're not neoliberal culture warriors, we're not CBR here, but all of us here would go, I get it, but it's weird. Like, it just doesn't sit right in the mouth, like it just, the mouth feel is wrong, if you will. So I've always understood why Black Panther stayed black. However, I think this is the right kind of way you do it, by really playing into the royal palace aspect of it, if you are going to do it. Because I think doing this twist, you get to see what is that like race relations in Wakanda. What is that going to do for all of them? You get to see the palace intrigue, the backstabbing. If you Game of Thrones style stuff, you get to see a lot of that. That's all, like, you do it that way, I think you can actually do something. Again, as long as it all makes sense. Like, you guys, I don't know how many of you guys know this, but there is, he's not White Panther, but T'Challa in 616 does have a brother named, his name is Hunter. He was lost in the outback, or not the outback, the Sahara. Yeah, the Sahara, Africa, found by T'Chaka. T'Chaka adopted him. Total white boy. He gets his own suit and becomes the White Wolf. And actually, for a time, he does become the ruler, like, in absent, or like, T'Challa's gone. He's not in absentia. T'Challa's in absentia. Hunter takes over and, like, rules Wakanda for a little bit. So that is what I think a lot of people miss, is that, yes, Black Panther and his his blackness, his blackety blackness or whatever, his African heritage, that is actually really important to the character. That's very much is. However, as Priest is showing us, if you really want to be able to eventually break down sort of these race barriers, if you really want people to take you for who you are, you have to, like, make more, or give T'Challa's life more than just, I'm black. And what does he have? He has that palace intrigue. So if you lean into that palace intrigue, then you can, put in Hunter, you can put in Katema, you can do a lot of these different things. It's just, we live in that age where the corporations go, oh, I don't know, I see, like, this is our black marketing character. I've been complaining about this with Miles for months, right? Miles had a personality, he became a marketing tool, and now he's just the most bland, safest character, can't do jack shit with him. You cannot give Miles anything remotely like a struggle or a challenge, because then, we're not representing people right, blah, 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 blah. It's like, this book is going to be really interesting over the next few weeks, or months, guys, because we're going to, my pretension, we're at that perfect intersection of, like, my pretentiousness, my English literature grad nerdness, and my comic book, like, love. It's all intersecting here. So maybe I'll make, like, a graphic where it's going to be like dissecting Marvel Knights with Mav or whatever. Like, I know we're going to be talking about this a lot. M'Baku actor would be a great War Machine. I think he's a little too chubby, like, round for a War Machine for me. That's not a bad thing. Like, I'm not saying he's fat. It's just sort of like NFL players, right? Like, they get really muscular and they get a little rounded. The closest in my head that we've had to a good roadie is Terrence Howard, and he still didn't look it right. Like, you need somebody like I don't know. I'd have to sit and think on this one, because I can see. Yeah, I'll get back to you guys on that. I don't really know who I would pick as a War Machine, but yeah, I love the M'Baku actor. Josh said he just came back. Is that a villain? Will he be a villain? We don't know right now. In the narrative, this is T'Challa's son who just beat him in a trial by combat for the rule of the throne. And he doesn't like, he's more of like a Wakanda traditionalist. And T'Challa's more of like, we can move past that ancient tribal ways. Kind of, and see, like, there's another meta thing. Yeah, that's the White Panther, but he's also representing what Marvel does, which is saying, like, I'm coming in, I'm the white guy, I'm keeping the African, like, tribe character setting in this. I'm not going to let the other black guy actually take it past this. There's so much here. Like, I'm so torn between, like, I know how insufferable I can get when I go full academia mode, but that's also, like, I don't know how else to approach this. It's going to be great. Yeah, no, Timon says he reminds me of Liquid. 1,000%. Actually, he reminds me of Liquid in 5, right? When you find him in, like, the what the fuck is it? He's like leading the group of like African, of child soldiers. That's the term I'm looking for. When you meet him and he's all young and you have to knock him out on the boat and then steal him away. Definitely reminds me of that, and it all sort of plays together. That's another sort of example of that, right, Timon? That I've always liked is Raiden from the Metal Gear Solid series. He is a child soldier from Africa. And so he's able to bring that up. And when you're playing Metal Gear Solid, what it does is it changes your perspective, because you generally think like, oh yeah, African kids who get born and raised and abducted or whatever. And but then you see like blonde or like platinum, half Japanese, half white Raiden is also a child soldier. And then you learn that the blonde, white Liquid Snake was also a child soldier. And you start seeing, yes, there is obviously an important national, ethnic, like, link to this, but then you can start expanding it out to see like, oh, that is maybe like the core problem, but this affects all of us. So then you can go, oh, we stamp out the source. Now everybody is better, instead of sort of ignoring the source and ignoring that everybody else is still hurting around it. No, Sakura, hey man, no, I don't really need research help. Again, I really appreciate tips from everybody out there. I know what I'm looking for when it comes to research. If you want to do that voluntarily, anybody out there, if you want to look at something up and you want to send it to us, we'll review it. But I don't need you to do any work for me, Sakura, right? Like, Bounding's my operation. I got it under control. I thank you, but I've got it right now. That's the thing, Josh. No, I don't know if he will be a villain. That's the entire thing. I can't get back into it because it's like 30 minutes that we've been going through this. But I would say when we're done here, if you want, obviously we'll probably talk later in the night, but like go back and listen to this last section, because there are too many balls in the air for this to just be, white guy is villain. Like, there's just way too much at play here. But yeah, that's what we got with White Black Panther. Will be cool to see where it comes. And again, I'm so mad, guys, because like I don't like Joe Quesada and I really don't even like his artwork. But then I see like this book and I see like this page and I go, now I see why everybody loved you so much back in like the early 2000s. I get it. Can you just fucking go back in time and stop yourself from doing one more day? Please, can you just do that? That's the only thing that is tarnishing your reputation, Joe. Please, for the love of God. But, all right, let's see. Speaking of Marvel, that's another thing, Josh. We don't know. There's so much we don't know. If he's mixed, if he's like adopted, it's all question marks up in this book. Like this book, this issue alone, even outside of the Katama stuff, it feels like what we're going to do in the series is we're going to check in each issue with a respective Marvel Knight. So like we'll get Black Panther here, maybe we'll get Daredevil in the next one, then we'll get Spider-Man and Punisher or something. And then they'll all, the narrative will run through it, and then they might come together in like one or two issues at the very end. I think we might be seeing something like that. The book literally came out Wednesday. So we are, anything outside of what I confirmed with you guys on the page, we're all really speculating hard on right now. Don't clip that. I heard what I said. But guys, all right, let's see. speaking of Marvel, speaking of, really, that's all. I thought I had a better link, but I clearly do not. Guys, let's just fucking get into it, because I'm sure everybody today, or you, if you didn't watch it, you probably heard of the state of play, or the Summer Games Fest happened today. We're in that season. We're halfway through the year. We're gonna start announcing new projects and all that sort of fun stuff, especially for the holiday season. Just overall, just before we get into this, these presentations have been really bad. I'm not seeing anything that exciting, and I don't know if you guys have seen these compilations going around on the internet. I'm clipping? Oh, maybe I just got... Oh, no, never mind. I'm dumb. I can't even remember a thought from like 2 seconds ago. But you've probably seen on Twitter, if you put a lot of those trailers that we've gotten out of all of these fests and just put them in like a sizzle reel, it's really hard to tell, like, is that a different game? Is that a new game? Is that? Well, that's sort of one of the big things we ran into there, Josh, was, let me see if I can pull up like a graphic of just things that were announced, because Katema, I'm sure you guys are fine with looking at this, but considering I've been like working on the story and breaking the story since Wednesday, and this is the only proper shot of Katema, like, I've seen this, I've been looking at it. We've been here. We're good. Oh man, like, just show me an announcement. I don't know. There's nothing good to look at. Here, we'll just bring up their stupid logo for a second while we talk about this. Pardon me. So, like, I feel really bleak. Okay, it's a really weird time in video games, because I do think we are at a time when we are actually on an upswing in terms of quality, in terms of innovation, in terms of all of that stuff. I genuinely think we are, guys. And we have been for, I'd say, like a year or two. But we are also, at the same time, in one of the worst, like, AAA, everything is a conveyor belt process line. Like, we are, it's a world of dualities, right? And we unfortunately happen to be smack dab in the middle of them. So where I'm at with video games right now is, cool, you want to make a super narrative first person shooter, whatever. I need passion, and I need something new. Whether that's a new weapon style in something, or it's a new aesthetic, or a new gameplay. Like, I want more. I want to really explore what we can do in this medium, instead of just trying to get to the point where every video game looks like the CGI of a Marvel, like, Hollywood movie, right? Like, we need to go back to the game in video game and not the video. And so in terms of these Summer Games Fest and the state of play on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whenever the hell it was, we really haven't, out of the big publishers, we aren't seeing that anymore. Nobody wants to take risks. Everybody just cares about what will sell big. Shuhei Yoshida, the former president of Sony Interactive Entertainment, one of the founding dev team members of the PlayStation brand, the PlayStation console, straight up said, like, it is a bleak, like, it sucks now because nobody wants to take a risk. Nobody wants to give somebody a chance. They're all so focused on line go up. So just overall, both of these presentations were really disappointing. I watched the Summer Games Fest today, and I felt like I wasted my time. Like, yeah, I was hanging out with my friends and I talked to them, and that was all fun. But overall, I was like, you didn't show jack. Also, Jeff Keighley really needs to stop introducing everything by using, like, the corporate speak description of it. Do you guys know what I mean? Or the marketing speak, rather. Because let's for example take Mega Man here, right? Mega Man is, if I were going on stage and I was like, we are coming to you with a brand new, like, franchise, like, this will be a brand new franchise from legendary developers Capcom. Have you guys ever wondered what it would be like to be fighting on behalf of all, like, human, like, peace against an army of robots? have you ever thought about what it would be like if you could take those robots' powers? This is like, let's check it out, right? That makes you go, ooh, I don't know. Like, that's kind of cool. The way Jeff does it, he would go, now, we're going to be bringing you a very immersive platform game with that's like very accessible and capable of like high verticals. And it's like, why are you like? I know you're saying that because there's probably some sponsor said you have to say this, but it's like every time he said that, I feel like you're like setting us up to be. How do I put this? You're giving it like a negative reputation, like read whatever you're giving, because if you there were like 3 games where I went, if you just showed me the trailer or you gave me like a normal human introduction like I just gave an example of, I would actually maybe be excited for this or maybe go, ooh, that looks cool. But because you set it up in a way that was like, here comes the DLC heavy thing, I just went, this is going to be fucking awful. So yeah, maybe it did look cool, but my opinion, you're now having to pull my opinion up from the bottom of the trench instead of just from like the surface of the water. You know what I mean? And just, Jeff, call me. I can help you with this, my friend. I firmly believe Capcom doesn't know what to do with Mega Man ever since Inafune left. I don't think they do either. So Josh and I, Inafune didn't know either. The Mega Man 11 team had the right idea, but they've done nothing for like 6 years now. Josh and I are probably easily the 2 biggest like Mega Man fans around, and I like even that I know. And Capcom, we've talked about this a lot, and I think we both came to the conclusion, together, that they just honestly they don't know what to do anymore. That talent, that view, that game design vision isn't there anymore, right? It's what you're going to end up getting now is, remember when Kojima left Konami and they said, we're going to make a Metal Gear game, and we got Metal Gear Survive? That's the kind of shit that we would be getting right now if they were going, let's make Mega Man games right now with the teams and everything we have. That's sort of what we would be getting, not exactly 1-to-1, a third-person survival type thing, but something that soulless, that not Mega Man. You know what I mean? It would have been weird. It would have been very bad. And to Capcom's credit, to that point, Oki, I think that they know they don't know. You know what I mean? I think they know that they don't know what to do with Mega Man, or nobody right now has the right design intentions for it. And they know that they know that if they do something, it's going to go fucking off the rails. And they can't really risk that with Mega Man. Because, yeah, he's your mascot, but he's in such a precarious position right now that you really need to be at least a little gentle bringing him back onto the stage before we start throwing everything at him. For example, if you made some weird spin-off game with Ryu and Ken and it was bad, or you made them DLC in a shitty game, we'd all go, that was bad, okay. But because Street Fighter has been generally doing well as a franchise and it's popular again, we would go, that was just like a misfire. We know that they were trying to like cash in, whatever. At least the core is still good. But if something like that happened with Mega Man, we would go, all right, then that series is done. Like, what are they even doing anymore? Like, it's been 10 years and they come back with this and all right, we're over. So we're only 35, or I'm only 35. You guys are all probably a lot younger. We will probably see something someday. I just kind of like Josh was pointing out earlier, no Mega Man, no care. I'm not holding my breath ever. Anytime any of these things come up, a Summer Games Fest, a console reveal, a direct, I never put Mega Man there. I just know he's not coming back unless he makes a cameo in something, right? Like if he made a cameo in a in Tatsunoko versus Capcom or Marvel versus Capcom. The last game we got, guys, like full-fledged game, was X-Dive, which is great, but it's a fucking mobile game, which I love that game a lot. You've heard me talk about it, but I love Crunchwrap Supremes too, but sometimes I really go, it has been so long since I've had a good solid California burrito. Like, I need that. So it's all, I really wish for all these things we talk about, I had such a clear-cut answer, but that's sort of part of the fuzz that we find ourselves in day to day, is that as much as we would really love all of these things to be super clear cut, they're often not. But we, thank you, Con Man. At the very least, we can thank you. I think, thank you, Con Man's in the chat for what we did end up getting. Don't fucking talk. Get out of here, Timon. Mods? Who's my mod? Do I even have... Andrew's not here. Andrew! Ban him! Ban Timon. Ban Timon. Oh, yeah. The 11 was a fluke. Really, it's just... It's rough for it right now. Mega Man is currently in its Sonic, phase, except Capcom's smart enough to not just continually keep fucking trying to make it, happen. They're probably waiting for the right moment. And you know what? That's another catch-22 for them. The longer they wait, the bigger that, return has to be. Because we're going to be 10 years, 15, 20 years? Oh, Blue Bomber's back. Finally, we can do something. I know what it was. I know it was a gacha game turned into a full game. We've talked about it. That's what I was highlighting. But that still is not what you want for saying that was the last franchise entry in this giant, amazing franchise. Yeah, I mean, Capcom's hitting their phase of, we have our big solid money makers. Let's start hitting and relying on that, your Ubisoft style, right? Far Cry's and your Assassin's Creed, that's what they were doing for a long time. Now you're gonna get your Street Fighters, Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, all that fun stuff. I wish I was more of a fan of those franchises. I like Street Fighter. I'm not a big fan of the 3D entries ever since 4. I like them. They're just not my favorite. Give me a new Alpha game. You guys know me and my sprites and all my weirdness, but yeah, it's a weird time in video games, but that's why, you got to look outwards, look for different developers. And also, that's why you've got to celebrate the wins when they come around. And my fucking God, guys, did we get a win on the state of play from Sony. So, to me, this game alone won Sony the state of play versus Summer Games Fest. It's not even a competition. I mean, it's sad that it was really just one game that made or tilted the scoreboard, but holy fucking shit, God, this is I've been using a phrase a lot lately. I've been calling things Amigara moments, or an Amigara thing, which is a reference to the Junji Ito comic, the the whatever at Amigara Fault, which is that very famous Junji Ito manga where the people find the holes in the side of the cliff and they're like, this was made for me, and they have to beyond they are just urged to get in there. That is what Jingo, you messaged me 2 hours ago. I've been on the stream the entire time. I don't have time to stop right now and go check my DM. I told you I'll get to it later. I love you, buddy. But I'm only one man. I don't have a constant feed coming into my head. I don't have 7 faces. I can't. Right now, my attention has been focused on you guys and talking to you and being on this stream. I'm not checking my DMs right now. I'm not checking my emails. I'm not checking my phone. I will get to it, man. I'll get to it. I see it. I know you noted it. I said earlier in the show that I'll get to it. I will get to it. But yeah, guys. So, this was an Amigara fault moment for me. Just absolutely, this came out, or I saw this trailer and I don't know how to properly communicate to you guys how fucking much this is a perfect hit on me, right? It is an ArcSys fighting game, so it's by the guys who do DBZ or DB Fighters, which is my latest fighting game of choice. It is, which means it's going to be fast-paced. It's more of a Marvel type fighter than a Street type fighter type fighter. It is comic book inspired aesthetics. I mean, clearly there's some inspiration, references being taken from the MCU, but on a large scale, what it is. So, for example, pause right here. Star-Lord, or let's go to like a good normal shot of him so we can just look at him. I know he was like posing a second ago. Yeah, whatcha? Oh no, I can get that. Presentation matters. Presentation matters. Whoa! Oh, I did it. So clearly, this is very, very evocative of his MCU suit, right? The red jacket, the open hair on the mask. It's MCU-y, but that's where we get into the chicken and the egg thing, which is like, do we, are they referencing the MCU or are they referencing the comics, which started referencing the MCU, right? So the lines are blended, definitely, but this is not explicitly MCU Star-Lord, right? The Captain America is not explicitly MCU-inspired Cap. The Spider-Man doesn't have the stupid fucking gold bracers that the last Iron Spider suit had in No Way Home. So, like, that, you guys know how much I fucking hate the MCU costumes or any of that forced synergy. It is Marvel inspired. Like, you guys know how much, like that goes without saying. It is, like the tag style. It is bright. It is vibrant. It is getting, like I said, the comic book aesthetic. Look at like Robbie. Like that is Ghost Rider Robbie from like comics. I'm so, yeah, like we got Johnny in Marvel 3 and now we get Robbie here. I love it. Doom, like, look at how short Doom's little skirt is. I love it. That little tunic popper boy, like, that's comic book Doom. And so this really does feel like with Fighters, like with something like Marvel Rivals, this genuinely feels like something that the people who were working on this really, really loved and wanted to do right by the like IP, right? Like, check, you saw that. I'm so excited for this. Look at like the menu aesthetics. It is a comic book board. It is the page that you use to submit before it goes to print. I am losing my mind. Like, this is what I always wanted. There are Easter eggs fucking everywhere in this. That makes sense. I'm looking at this right now on the theater marquee. It's past them right now because they moved. It's a Dazzler show. They're advertising a Dazzler show. Over here on the right, there's a Janet Van Dyne like fashion exhibit room. You can see the Atlantean embassy is right next to the theater there. It's so cool. Like, this is very much, obviously, as everybody has probably said, and as I have said, this is a Marvel vs. Capcom game, but without Capcom. Like, in everything. And it makes me so excited because this is my, aside from just like the base of everything we just said, like comic books and colors and Flash, when it comes to video games, I after probably like character action games, I'm a big fighting game dork. And I, like, to the point, guys, I don't know if we've ever really gotten into this, but when I was younger, when I went to UC Irvine, that was around the time that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 came out. And that game led to a giant revival of the in-person fighting game community and the in-person tournaments. Being in Southern California and being at UC Irvine, that school was super central to kind of everywhere in Southern California. So they would coordinate with us, like the Student Event Center, and host your giant, like your SoCal regionals, all of this stuff. So like on probably one of the most stereotypical moments of my life is like in college, in between classes, if I wasn't doing homework, I was sitting with a group of 7 other Asian guys labbing fucking Marvel vs. Capcom 3 with our pads and trying to combos and all this shit. So I live and breathe this specific type of fighting game, the Marvel style one where it is action, it's fast, everything's bright. And we haven't really gotten this, right? We got Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which was mechanically fine, but visually and presentation-wise, it was bad. It was clearly like one of those things where just make the comic book characters look like realistic video game characters without any sort of design aesthetic or, Stellar Blade, for example. yes, it scans in like Eve's body is a complete real person, but they add filters and the way they stylize their face and things to make her look more like glowing. Her skin is like more perfect. I mean, she's Korean, so it's they already look like that because they just subject themselves to $1 zillion worth of cosmetic surgery. But that's beside the point. And yeah, so these have always been my jam. I obviously, like I said, I played Fighters when that was out because that was kind of like a Marvel-y game, and now we're getting a new one, and I'm just so excited for this, guys. And like what Zero said early on. This Kamala is so fucking adorable. Like I cannot. Where's the part where where's that screen? It is like the most adorable. Like we're going into battle. Yeah, it's right here where she acted. She's so cute, and look, I've gone on the record saying I liked Kamala when she was first introduced. I think her base character or that base arc was really good. She unfortunately got the, Miles thing where, oh, we can market you. We're going to completely destroy your character and make you really boring. However, like, doing good designs, guys, and like making your characters cute can go so far in making something endearing to an audience, right? I've seen so many people who hate Kamala going, wow, she looks adorable. Like, she looks great. I can't believe it. She's awesome. Her story, like, if you kept this sort of, like, cheery, big-eyed, like, wide-eyed Kamala, right? Like, that, everybody could really get behind that, even if you did fuck it up a little bit, get a really too ham-fisted, heavy-handed on the messaging. More people would be accepting of it because she looked cute. She looked great. It looked like you were trying. They haven't really done that a lot. It's like this and the Bishojo statue, right? By Shunya Yamashita. Let me get it. Does Kamala have the funny nose? Ain't Kamala without the funny nose. I know. I will say this, Oki. I think obviously she doesn't have the funny nose, but I think she's got the anime funny nose because it's pretty well defined for an anime aesthetic. Let's see here. Yeah, that's probably. Give me a big version of this image, please. Ooh, that one's cool. That one's cool. Yeah, let's look at. No, it's tiny. I fucking hate you, Google. Don't say something is like one size and then return it to me fucking that tiny. The hell is wrong with you? Woo. Oh man, yeah, we're hitting that 2.5 hour mark, so now it's like all the heat is building up over here. Woo. Love Arizona, where it is 90 degrees by fucking 8 a.m., guys. It's awesome out here. But so yeah, this Bishojo statue, these are great looks for her. They're fantastic. And again, not all characters need to be super cute. Not all characters need to be likable. But if that's what you're going for, there are things you can do instead of like pissing into the wind and going like, I'm doing it this way. And when everybody goes, we know, but you could, like, this could help. And you just keep going, no. And like, Kamala hasn't been ugly in the comics. It really is just the way they present her in the comics, being that mouthpiece of like, I am so cool. I am the next. I know I'm the next generation. I'm a fucking 16-year-old, and I am being put on the Avengers, like as a leading member. Get the hell out of my face! Like, it's all that sort of stuff. Where, for example, if we're all hanging out one day and we are talking about, let's say, Final Fantasy, right? We're talking about our favorite Final Fantasy games, blah, 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 blah. And somebody comes up to us and they just start going like, oh, Final Fantasy? Yeah, I mean, I played it when it was, or like, I didn't play that. I played Senketsu Daisen, and it's like, okay, we all played that too. Why are you trying to be like so much better than us? There's no reason for that. Also, yeah, you might have played those games, but why are you coming in here and trying to like change the group dynamic and the culture of it? Like, it's so, just chill. Like, you will come in eventually, but just, I know your place is too strong of a term, but sort of read the room, right? Like, read the fucking room, girl. And that's insufferable. Doesn't matter who it is. And like, so even if you gave her this appearance in the comics, she'd still be insufferable. But what this statue and what this image communicate, because yes, I admittedly, guys, we're only looking at 2 seconds of footage of Kamala, and there's no dialogue, no plot points. It's actually gameplay. One of the few games that actually did gameplay footage this in their presentations. What her design communicates with the big eyes, and the anime isn't just big eyes for big eyes, guys, right? Like, you have anime eyes to convey femininity, innocence, youth, that kind of thing. So you give her really big eyes, you give her, big accentuating eyeliner, I guess it is. I have a different term I use when I'm drawing, so I'm not going to say it because it's just stupid, but I'm pretty sure it's eyeliner. And then make her her motions, right? Like, her movement is very enthusiastic. You get this sense of, like, she is that fangirl, and she really is excited and really wants to be here, but she doesn't act like she knows any better. She's kind of wrapped up in the moment. She might accidentally, in a moment, pick up a car and chuck it at Stiltman. But she's not, if she does that and Cap yells at her, she's going to go, or, not yells at her because he's Cap, but if Cap talks to her, she's not going to go like, why does he know any better? Like, yeah, he's Cap, but he doesn't understand the split decision I'm making. She would go, oh, I thought I was doing right. My bad, Cap. Let me try and do better. And even if she was right or wrong, it's just a better dynamic. And that is the right kind of character for Kamala. Genuinely. You guys know I bring this up all the time whenever we talk about Kamala. But one of the things that really endeared me to her, especially because it was happening in that Marvel Now super, sanitize everything era, was G. Willow Wilson, her creator, who, again, surprised because she is very much an ideological heavy writer. When Kamala gets exposed to the Terrigen Mist and her inhuman powers start activating, part of her as you guys know, when you get hit by the mist, you cocoon up, you kind of go into this weird other state as the Terrigen manipulates your body and gives you your powers. When she does that, she has sort of like an internal dream vision where she knows she's getting powers, and then Tony or Iron Man, Captain America, and Carol Danvers in her Miss Marvel outfit appear before her. And it's kind of this sort of like self-talk, like, well, you're stretching. What are you going to do now? Like, what does this mean for you, Kamala? And she says, well, if that's what this, if I'm getting superpowers, I want to be like you. But I want to be, but I wouldn't wear the new outfit. I would wear the super, the super, skimpy Miss Marvel one with the sash and the high-heeled boots. Like, that right there made me go, oh, that's, she is, I like that fangirl idea of her. Play into that more. Do more of that. But also, if you're a fangirl, if you're fangirling out, you can't necessarily expect the fangirl. You wouldn't hire her for the board of directors of your band, right? Because it's going to be, they don't have the experience, and they're kind of coming at this with the wrong vision because they're so in love with the idea of being a superhero or like that boy band member that we can't really trust them to make those right decisions. There are very, very, very few baseline bad characters out there. And I don't think Kamala ever was one. It's just the same thing that always happens. Once Marvel sees, I can use this as sort of a marketing bludgeon. I can put this out everywhere. I can throw Kamala on, a paper plate and it'll show up on the CNN evening news or whatever. At that point, any character who hits that, they're no longer allowed, whether consciously or just a subconscious fear from Marvel editorial. After that point, they are not allowed to have, like I said earlier, anything sort of go wrong in their life or anything seriously go wrong, that would challenge them, that would have them make a moral slip up, that would make them look not the greatest. And it is to the detriment of any character that happens to. So, and because like, I know, for example, guys, I don't like, yeah, her show was kind of middling and the Marvels was bad, but I fucking love Iman Vellani's Miss Marvel. Anytime I see Miss Marvel in a thing, I get kind of really excited because I know Iman is like really, really passionate about this and really cares, but also she plays that super, super heavy, super, super, I will defer reverence to like Captain Marvel type of Kamala. And I think that's what we need in this Kamala now. We haven't gotten to the point where it feels natural for her to evolve from sort of '05 Cyclops to X Factor Cyclops, right? We haven't really gotten there yet, and that's because of Marvel. That's not us as readers going, we don't want this. It's because of Marvel. But yeah, dude, just everything looks so good. Everything looks so cute. I am gonna lose my mind over this game when it finally comes out. Our dear friend Leon, I don't know how many of you guys saw this exchange over on Twitter, but I freaked out about this game when the trailer dropped. I made a tweet about it. Our good friend Leon, Neon Leon, Words of Paradise, go check him out. He has a stream right after this one. He was like, when this comes out, I'm gonna beat your ass. And I was just like, this is the first time I'm hearing about this. He doesn't know who he's fucking challenging. He doesn't understand the depths, dude. Like, I love him, and I know there's no way for him to have known. But, like, you are stepping up to the wrong plate here, man. I love you, Leon, and if you hear this, we'll play. We absolutely will, but I'm gonna fucking stomp you. That's just how good I am at these games and how I get into them. Corey, heading out for the night. Take it easy, my brother. Enjoy your last Saturday of vacation. I'm sure I will see you. And hopefully Andrew gets his Switch too, so I can see you kick his ass at Mario Kart Tour or Mario Kart World on Sunday. Sleep tight, brother. I will talk to you very, very soon. Let's see. Somebody... Oh. Sorry, yeah, no, Jingo, I didn't think you were pestering. Sorry if that came off a little more abrasive than I meant it to. That was sort of that weird click from, like, I was already super passionate and, like, hyped over this. So then when I had to switch to, like, hold on, let me, like, address you real quick, that energy kept going and I didn't realign it right. So my bad if that came off as I was super annoyed. I definitely wasn't. We're all good. Don't even trip about it. So Sakura brings up, oh, I'm worried about the whole 4v4 stuff. So new, it's scary. Entering new territory. So, yeah, that is sort of the big draw or the big gameplay mechanic of novelty of this entry is that it looks like, or the novelty is that it'll be teams of 4v4. And what I've been reading is that, so first off, like, I hear you on, like, it's new and it's scary. I don't really have that same feeling, like, just in general in life. I don't really look at something and go, oh, that's new, it's going to be bad, or, oh, that's old, it's going to be bad. I kind of go, let me see what it is. It could be a mechanic that I go, I don't know if that's going to work, but as long as I go, let me see, it could turn out great. And I could go, this is my new favorite thing in the world. Conversely, I could go, oh, I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to stick with, you know, a fighting game I know, and now I'm playing Street Fighter 6 for the rest of my life. Do we want to do that? So, it's always, you know, understandable to be a little apprehensive, but I just sort of encourage everybody out there to remember, unless it is something very confirmed in your face that you are going to hate, or you are like, or it's like against you, you know, let somebody take you through it. Don't just jump off our assumptions. And I'm guilty of that too. I'm not speaking down to you guys. It's something I always have to remember as well. But in regards to that new territory, what I've been reading, it's like half new territory, Sakura, and half kind of what we know of Marvel. So what I've been reading is that 4x4, all characters are, or like one player will pick a character online or like in multiplayer, and they're all on, like they're all active and ready to go at the same time. You have one fighter up, but then you'll like switch between them, right? And obviously, yeah, 4x4, that's crazy. We saw 3x3 in MVC3 and fighters. What's speaking from somebody who lived that stuff, throwing a fourth fighter in there is going to throw all of the balances and mechanics off. What are we going to do here? What this looks like, and this is where I'm kind of intrigued, is it looks like your team will share one full health bar, and you kind of swap out as necessary, right? So there is I'll show you guys there's a moment in here where you see the mechanic in action. Watch. Okay, that's right there. You see that? So I got to take you down, Sakura. So, whoops. Cap will land. So boom, boom. Cap lands, hits the kick, smack, smack. Kamala comes in for an attack. Then you see this, like, it is the soul gem, guys. Like, I'm just going to be real. I know they haven't said it, but if we're talking souls and it's glowing and it's yellow and it's that small, what the hell else are we talking about? So, yeah, hits him. Kamala comes in. It even comes out, like, out of Cap's back pocket, like, whoosh. So then it goes into Kamala. I think that's where I'm kind of intrigued, Sakura, and everybody else, is like, yeah, different thing, but we're going to do one health bar for all 4 players. I really am interested to see how they pull it off, because, how does it work with, do I have to tag in the other player? Can the other player go, hey, like, Josh, you're not doing, like, I can finish this, boom, like, I'm taking over. Do you have maybe, like, a limited amount of, swaps? I want to see that, and I want to play it, because it's something new. We really haven't done a single bar between all characters before, especially one that doesn't have any sort of chance for recovery. That's what, in case you guys don't know this, when you're playing a Marvel vs. Capcom game, when you get hit and you take damage, you'll lose your health, but then there will be a little bit more, like, there will be a big red health bar left over that still decreases, but just ever so slightly incrementally. If you swap out your characters at that point, as long as your character is in the, like, back, they have the potential to heal all the way up to the top of wherever that red bar is. It won't bring them back to where they were, but it's pretty damn close. And that's why, that's the whole punish them, force swap them, yada, yada, yada. So I'm kind of really, you guys know me. I want to get the mechanics. I want to see all this new stuff. I want to get it in my hands. I want to feel it. I want to see, like, is this a good direction for fighting games? Is this going to be something that we want to see more of? Or is this going to be an unfortunate misfire where we go, everything is great, the gameplay is asshole? I don't know. I'm excited. Okay, there's this trend, and I live for it every single time it happens. Since MVC2, every time a new either Marvel fighter or a Capcom fighter is announced, every single time people go off like, oh shit, they're broken up. What are we gonna, like, what is it? What now? Who are they gonna partner with now? What's the next team up? And well, that's kind of ridiculous. I always love the art, the speculation. Sometimes, like, the Turbo Autist, my fellow Turbo Autist, they'll get in and they'll start making, like, move sets. Sometimes I've seen a couple discussions back in the MVC2 to MVC3 period where it led to some guy just being like, I made this in Mugen because that sounded really cool. So I love that zone, and we're in another one of them again, right? So Marvel vs. Capcom 2 comes out. Everybody loves it. All of a sudden, Marvel says, we're breaking with Capcom. We're going to go make Marvel Nemesis, the arena fighter. And everybody goes, oh, shit, they're broken up. What's going to happen? Oh, my God. And then nothing really happens. The games come out, or Nemesis comes out. It sucks. Neither of them really do anything with their fighting licenses for a while. Boom, MVC3. Everybody rejoices. Everybody goes, oh, shit, we're back. All right, Capcom, Marvel, you made up. Then Tatsunoko versus Capcom comes out. And everybody goes, oh, fuck, they're broken up. What's going to happen? And then MVCI came out. And everybody went, oh, they're back together, thank God. And now we're here at Tokon Fighting Souls, and everybody's going, they're all broken up. What are we gonna do? I don't know. It's like that last bastion of that innocent era of the internet, where we all, if you were on the internet at that time, you all were of sort of like the basic same, like internet society, internet culture understanding of everything, right? The good old 4chan days when you could troll people, you could make, really dark jokes. Okay, this is sort of just a side note. I've been like, it's been really bouncing in my head a lot lately because I got into it with somebody over the weekend. When people go like, oh, I thought you like dark jokes or whatever, like blah 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 blah, like what's wrong with dark comedy? What makes dark comedy funny, guys, is the base social agreement that whatever we're talking about is bad and like would not be a good thing. So when we, oh God, I don't want to go hang out at their house. I'd rather be on a plane I'd rather be on United 93 at 9 a.m. Yeah, we all laugh at that, but we all know, like, yes, nobody would want to, because we know the tragedy that's coming. A lot of the dipshits who go like, oh, comedy's illegal now, blah, blah, blah. When they say things like, oh yeah, like, black people do that, da, 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 da. It's not funny because they're not coming from the base of like, this is bad, or like we all know this is wrong. They're going, haha, see? They're just making fun of people. And it's just completely stupid. Complete soapboxing out of nowhere. But man, and yes, who said it in there? Somebody said it in there. But the anime Iron Man, like he looks like Tekka Man Blade. I'm just so excited. Okay, if I have one criticism, I fucking stop putting white on Spider-Man's suit. Come on, stand in a way we can see you, man. Oh, that like extended kick is like really good for us to like pause on. No, it's going down. Like you can see the MCU synergy here with like or not synergy, but the inspiration, and it's just, I don't like it. Spider-Man needs to be simple. I don't even like his PS4 suit where they give it the big white spider and then the knuckle things. It's not Peter. It's too overcomplicated. It feels weird. I don't know. I've never been a fan of it. Not really a fan of it here. I don't like his Marvel Rivals suit. I don't like his. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I can think of like a other media exclusive suit that I was super jazzed about after Garfield's suits. I guess. I mean, what do you guys think? Does the suit at the end of No Way Home count? Even, it does for me, but it doesn't, because that's technically just his comic book one. But it is like shiny and nice, and we haven't seen it, so put it up in the air there. But yeah, you guys will hear a lot from me about this over the, forever. Once it comes out, I'll probably be playing it a lot on streams. Anytime there's a new trailer, you can probably dollars to no nuts bet it's going to be either a thumbnail or a topic of discussion that week on GMU. It's just good video games, guys. Like, this is what I live for. Oh, wait, before I got distracted, yeah. So that's what I love, that cycle of like, they're together again, they're broken up, but because in all of those broken up moments, everybody speculates and we get lots of really cool stuff, and it just feels like we're all in that same community again. It's nice, it's fun. I'm excited for this game, guys. But you know what? Enough about me. What the hell have you all been saying about this game? I definitely know that I've had to look away because I know that I was like rolling, and I would have totally. Timon knows, or everybody knows. Timon's just the only one who ever calls me out on it. You can't just like give me something else to talk about in the middle of something, or we're never gonna get anywhere, right? That's that ADD at work. All right. Condescending Josh says the Spider-Man suit is better than both Insomniac versions of the suit. It's better only by virtue of he doesn't have the giant white spider. Like, that is really the only thing this suit kind of has over those other ones, right? I've talked about this so many times, guys. Stop giving spider people shoes. Stop giving spider people shoes. That's not how the spider powers work. They need to be able to, like, make contact with the wall. And that's why Pete uses spandex, because his fibers can get out of it. And any tech suit he's ever used, like the Iron Spider or the Superior suit, Tony and Otto made sure that they used, like, the right material. So, it's still... I'm not a big fan of, like, chunky web shooters. I'm not a fan of the knuckle dusters. And you guys know me and MCU lines in general. If the line doesn't need to be there, get it the hell out of there. Dude, Jingo says, I missed the pre-retconned Star-Lord, Master of Sun, and Jason of Sparta as a good guy, and Kip Holm, the adopted heir to the throne. I was just talking about this with Andrew last night on Foil Variant. There is an event they just started over at Marvel, written by Jonathan Hickman, one of my favorite writers, and illustrated by one of my favorite artists, Iban Coelho. It's called Imperial, and it is very evocative of the 2008 Annihilation series, which I fucking love. Maybe we'll talk about it on another stream someday, but that book changed, like, that series, that event changed the way I look at comic books. The thing is, the difference here is, like, in Annihilation, there were really interesting characters to get behind. You know, you had the original Guardians, you had Nova, you had Super Skrull, you had Silver Surfer, you had who is texting me? You had all of this stuff. In this event, you have Hulk, or at least so far, you have Hulk, Nova, post-MCU Star-Lord, and eventually we're going to get Charles Xavier and Lilandra. Like, they're coming to... We know they're coming. But I was telling Andrew, like, I actually love Nova. Like, hands down, never go wrong with Nova. I like specifically the King Hulk, World War Hulk, Planet Hulk era Hulk, where he was smart and he was in control of his body, but also sort of realizing, like, I not only fuck those guys, but really I do thrive out here in space. As I was telling Andrew, if we were allowed to let the Marvel Universe, like, evolve and keep growing and moving forward, I think Hulk going into space, he comes back, fucks everybody up, goes back to Sakaris, and that's where he should just be from now on. You can have all of the same adventures, all of the same introspection, but also have a way bigger playground than, make sure the Hulk doesn't, beat up this guy because he's going to be in crossover number 8 later this month. But Star-Lord in particular really, like, it really hurts me, Jingo, because that pre-MCU Star-Lord was one of my absolute favorite just characters, especially with his, like, actual Waterloo-inspired outfit with like the chaps and everything. I thought that was the coolest thing. I thought the way Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, the way, they're just an amazing team in general, but the way they were able to handle just the team dynamics, the way they were bringing in characters I hadn't seen or even cared about and made me really like that. Guys, thanks to that run, one of my favorite Marvel heroes, I mean, obviously in the wider sense, it's fucking Jack Flag. Who even remembers Jack Flag? You know what Jack Flag does nowadays? I'm not even kidding. They bring him in to have him thrown out of planes. He showed up after Guardians, after he was on the Guardians. He showed up in post-Civil War. He's the first guy that the Norman Osborn Thunderbolts arrests, and they, like, rough him up, and Venom, I think, like, throws him out the back and then, like, catches him or whatever. But then Jack Flag comes back into action in Captain America Steve Rogers #1, where he helps Steve save or, like, beat Zemo, but then Steve throws him out of a fucking plane because it's not Steve, it's Hydra Cap. It's the fake version of Cap. And it's just like, poor Jack, what's happening? But yeah, the old Star-Lord, this like rough and tumble kind of like almost like a Han Solo, but almost older and grumpier. And, like, he was great. I loved that character. You could still have him be funny. You could still have him be quippy. But after MCU, like, I'm not, like, I think Pratt's Star-Lord he's a good younger Star-Lord, right? Like, I get that. I totally get that. And then, of course, the Star-Lord we know from Annihilation, he had to deal with, like, war. He had half his face missing. I get it. But when they did their synergy shit, they pulled too hard on the Pratt personality, and now that made him too goofy, too much of a stupid bro, and bugs it. It always breaks my heart because, yeah, the Guardians were my favorite. Literally, guys, when the MCU was popping off, and I was talking to like folks in college, they would go, or what was it, 2012, right, for Avengers 1? Let's see, Avengers 2012. Yeah, so in college, 2012, talking to all of my friends, we all finally see the Marvel Universe come together. It finally pays off. A bunch of people, they obviously, guys, you know me, I'm not quiet about who I am. I talk about the stuff all the time. All of my friend group knew that I was the comic book guy. So that one conversation came up one day, and somebody asked me, Spencer, if you could get any Marvel character to get like an MCU movie and come into these, who are you going to pick? And I went, well, obviously Spider-Man, but I know that that's not going to happen. I did the whole thing. But then I went, if we're being real, I have two. I want Ant-Man, and I want the Guardians of the Galaxy. And while like maybe 3 of my friends have like knew Ant-Man, everybody went, what the fuck is Guardians of the Galaxy? And I went, exactly. Never going to happen. Nobody knows who they are, but a man can dream. And then we got like, that was a monkey pearl, like that was a monkey claw moment or a monkey's paw moment where I was like, good, like Guardians to the MCU, and they did it. And now we only get the MCU team. And I kind of really don't like the MCU members. Or like, not that version, like that all works in the movies. I don't care about Rocket. I don't care about Groot. I don't care about Gamora. I like Drax, but not enough for me to say I care about Drax. And so that's who we only ever get. No Bug, no Phyla-Vell, no Moondragon, no Adam Warlock. And it's such a bummer. This is why, like, I'm so behind what Priest is doing with White Black Panther, because this is the kind of crap where he's like, no, we're moving past this. Josh says, dude, Doom's walk/strut, who walks like that in the MVC games? It's him. He's the one who walks like that. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, where is Doom? There we go. Or, okay, I actually think it's Cable, or it's not Cable, it's fucking, it's Iron Man. MVC2 Iron Man walks with the big chest puff out, right? Because he's using like the 90s design. That's who you're thinking of, definitely. Like once he's like walking, I can totally see that. Yeah, that's the old Tony. Why does Iron Man look like he went on an anime binge? Because he did. Because this is Japan. They can do whatever they want. Look, I know it's not like maybe the most creative or explosive Robo Tony they could have given us, or like anime Tony they could have given us. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overwhelmed by, or like enraptured by how awesome this game is going to be and how it is everything I've ever I want. Maybe that's like clouding my judgment. Yeah, obviously we all went, oh hell yeah, they're going Gundam with him, but at least it looks cool. It's really, I never thought I would say this, but over the past few years, like, I've learned it's really easy, unfortunately, to fuck up an Iron Man suit. So, thankfully, they didn't do that here. Also, I love the Storm is like a half mix between classic Storm and Peach Momoko's Ultimate Storm, who has the braid hair. I'm loving this. I'm super loving this. See, I don't, this is not, like, I don't really care about this. So Jingo says, I'll always resent Kamala for taking Carol's name and forcing her to take Mar-Vell's. So that's not what, maybe, okay, I don't agree with that, because, like, that's not exactly what happened. Obviously, on a marketing sense, they went, what can we do? Can we get a legacy character in here? But in terms of the story, Carol was already Captain Marvel, right? She was already Captain Marvel. That had happened way before Kamala came onto the scene. So at the time, Kamala's name, she's going, the name is open. I want to follow in the footsteps of my favorite superhero. I'll take Miss Marvel, because she's not using it, and that was her, like, early code. it all makes sense, especially as a fangirl. There, I hear you. I really don't have the same fervency, and I can't. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I can't even imagine sort of having that much of an issue with the name thing, because anytime a legacy character happens, I've never heard anybody say the name is a big problem. Kamala looks like May from Guilty Gear, as in the best Guilty Gear character after Johnny, of course. That's a really funny way to say Dr. Faustus. All right, Dr. Faustus is easily the best one. Let's see. Let's see. Sakura says, that's what I'm saying. I hope it doesn't cause problems for developers. Imagine MVC4 announced and it's 3v3. I don't. That's the thing. It's like, I'm not the kind of person who goes, this game has to be 3x3. And if Marvel vs. Capcom 4 comes out and it's this one bar system, I'm not going to go, this isn't Marvel, it needs to be 3x3. Because I've been through iterations of Marvel that were MVC1, you could only have one partner. In the console versions, it was really, really hard for you to even swap them. Well, the PlayStation one, you couldn't even swap them on command. And, MVC2, we got the 3-person system, had that in 3 again. Then in Infinite, we went back to the 2-person one. So, again, I'm not the person who says this is only that if it has X element, Y element, Z element. Because you can do that for so many things and still have it turn out like dog shit. For me, it's really about, what are you going for with this game? What feel are you going for with this game? What's the objective? What's the demographic? What's the feeling you want people to have when you're playing this game? Does it all work together? Is this a cohesive system that is fun and works? Or did you just throw in a bunch of shit that unnecessarily complicated everything? They'll do Dragon Ball Fighter story, but implemented to the gameplay. In Fighters, you were supposed to be controlling all of the fighters. They couldn't fight otherwise. Okay, so that's how I would imagine it would go down if this was just a single-player mode, Josh. And Josh is talking about the swapping of characters and the sharing of one health bar. That is what I would normally say, and that's what I would run with. But it's the fact that it's multiplayer, right? And it's confirmed that other people on the team will have, like, they will pick a character and they'll control it. In other games, we've had that mode before, but it was like you had to tag the point player had to tag in whoever the other one was. But that was also, you had your own health bars. So if point player dies, back player, anchor player is going to come out anyway. Here, that's not the case. So that's why I'm like, the way I'm envisioning it right now, to sort of give a concrete example, is something, and just speculation, I don't know how this is going, this is just how it's in my mind. They'll probably do something else and I'll go, oh, fucking geniuses, that's why you design games and I write the news. But Smash Bros, when you have, like, when your your teammate has an extra life and you can steal one, and boo, it takes a second to do it. There's a big penalty, and you can only do it so many times until both of you run out of lives. I feel like it might be something like that, where you can hit A and B at the same time, and that will burn like a bar of some, or not a bar, but like a special. The way I want to say, like, 2 flames, like there will be 2 flaming charges on your screen or whatever. Burn one of those, and you will forcefully take over. Which I actually lean towards that. It comes to my head because I think that would be really fun. The idea of, like, trust your friend. Oh, fuck. Like, oh shit, no, give it to me. Or oh my god, Josh, I was so ready about to tag you out, and you there's a lot you could do there. And then, of course, the frustrations. Like, dude, what the fuck? I could have had that. Like, what is wrong? That's going to be cool. So, we'll see. I don't genuinely have any, negative assumptions. ArcSys has been killing it. I know Strive, that's all on Daisuke. Like that's him being a weird producer and kind of falling into the terminally online-ness. Strive, mechanically, is still pretty damn fun. Like, I'm not going to lie about that. It's just everything else surrounding it is kind of crap. That was the one I always used to get too. Yeah, eat your food because they're starving children in Africa, and now I'll do that if we're out at a bar or something. It's like, all right, we're all going, and I'm like, your You're gonna leave your beer here? There are sober kids in Africa. How dare you do that to them? They would murder for that like half a pint. No, the white web shooter is go. See, I don't. The coloring is fine. I just really, really, really do not like the. Pardon me. Ugh. Where is that like extended kick shot? That's like the best one we have for Spidey. Boom. It's just the giant chunkiness of it. That is what really fucking bugs me. And I'll explain to you guys why. Okay, I guess this is probably like the best visual I can give you guys. So, Spider-Man, acrobatic character, jumps around a lot, right? Like boing, 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 boing. If you guys know flexibility or whatever, like go flex your wrist, right? If you're doing like push-ups or anything like this, flex your wrist. You have lots of give to give. But if you put something in that way, whether it be something like a watch, well, now I can't fully bend my hand the same way because there's an object in the way. If I did, I would either hurt myself or I'd break the object. For somebody who's constantly at like snapping at the wrist from slinging around, it's weird to me that you would put such an easy thing for you to break or to dig into the palm of your hand. That's design-wise, that's why I hate it. But I also just, Spider-Man's not a big clunky hero. He's supposed to be so, in my mind, he's supposed to be very slim and lithe. And yeah, so once you start adding big web shooter technology, well, now I think, Peter, why did you make them so fucking giant? What is the point of that? Why didn't, there is no advantage. Did you take Ben's impact webbing? No. Then why are we doing this here? It's the exact same thing that I went through with the MCU suit that I was talking about, where he gets the golden ones for no big, like there's no reason, and they're so big and they're so pointy on the palm. Bugs the hell out of me. I'm not against the white. And actually, I was talking to some friends. This wrist thing he's got going on, like his web shooters, they are very evocative of my boy Spider-Man from the Toei show, where remember that was his changer to the Toku Spider-Man. And I like that, and I like the fact that it's white. But what makes it work on Tatsuya is it is only one. We know it is there to shoot webs, and it also be bulky because it is his transformation device. And that's it. They don't put a bunch of hookups on him that are white. It's just, I have my device right here. And like that works for me. Again, I'm different. I'm weird, guys. You fucking know this. I will put way too much thought into how does Spider-Man bend his wrist. Nobody else has been talking about that. I talked about that. Exactly, Ruler. Spider-Man doesn't need the overcomplicated suit. Of all superheroes, Spider-Man's not only does he have like some of the most iconic designs, but all of the designs for Spidey that land, and pretty much all of them, I'd say like 98% of them, they're all really, really simple, right? The black suit, super simple, absolutely iconic suit in just media pop culture in general. His original suit, like the red and blue one, very, very simple outside of the webbing pattern. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. The Iron Spider in the comics, red, orange or red Iron Man base with gold trimmings. Beautiful. That's all he needed. You knew it was coming, but Ben Reilly, a full red suit with no webbing and a blue hoodie. Super simple, and that is what I've always liked about Peter, is that, yeah, like he started from the bottom, he did everything himself. Obviously he's smart, and obviously this is the kind of stuff he would get to someday, but maybe he doesn't have the resources or things are going on. My favorite Spider-Man suit, one of the, outside of like Ben, outside of the Iron Spider, is, what the hell is it called? It doesn't even like have a name technically. I guess it's his all new suit, but when Peter, when he was in charge of Parker Industries, after Otto was in his brain, set up Parker Industries, made himself a bazillionaire with a big tech company, then Everything happens. Peter comes back into his body. Now he's in charge of Parker Industries. At that time, he makes a... Let me see if I can actually find a screenshot of it, because it is in the first Insomniac game. I don't know about the second because I haven't played that. But it is so good in the... And, like, it doesn't have a name, so I'm like, what the fuck do I... What is it called? I think this is what it's called in the game. No. Okay, I guess this is what they want to call it nowadays. Whatever, man. I disagree, but we'll talk about it. I'm just pulling... don't worry, guys. I'm just pulling up an image so that I can properly talk to you about what I'm saying. Yeah. All right. Jump over here real quick. Go, web. Oh, I'm on web. I'm just on the wrong window. That's why. Fly, web. Up, and away, web. So, after he got Parker Industries, this is a suit. He made a new suit. And Marvel calls it the Mark IV suit. Fine. Fuck it. We'll call it the Mark IV suit. But it is just his normal suit. But it is like... It's a thin plate layer, like hardened, unstable metal, like coating instead of just spandex. And, you know, he's got, like, it is metal, it's glowing, he's got technology in it, but he didn't overcomplicate himself. And this suit, like, I love this suit. I hate this run. I don't even, like, I really hate this part of the run where Dan Slott starts coming back and shitting all over Peter's life and for no reason. I hate this part of it. But this suit is so good in the way that it combines the classic aesthetic of Spider-Man with the, like, tech genius that we know he can be. This is the perfect marriage of that stuff for me. And to your point, Ruler, it's simple. It is super, super simple. Mark IV. Okay, maybe that'll pop it up. But yeah, like in the video game. Here, this will better show off. Thank you, rendering technology. But yeah, see, this is it in the first Spider-Man game. It's super high-techy, but it's still super simple. And that subtle glow, like, it's awesome. In the comics, he doesn't have the goddamn MCU lines. Please ignore that. You know I would warn you guys before a suit came with MCU lines. But stay like that. You can still have him be super techy. You can still have him do a bunch of crazy shit. But this just feels like Spider-Man. All right, I'm going to jump a little forward because now I see that you guys are talking about the spider shoes, and whoa, I got to jump that. Okay, Marvel... No, okay. Jingo, no offense, like, I love you and I respect you, but here on this show... And me personally, I don't buy into any of these, you know, oh, it's her self-insert. Oh, there was this big behind-the-scenes cabal plan. Because just, like, if I think for a second, who benefits? What's the point, right? Ask yourself that question. So they got Carol to change her name because they were going to introduce Sana's self-insert. Why wouldn't they then just make Kamala Captain Marvel? Why wouldn't they just... do anything like that? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Is Kamala, you know, really influenced by Sana? Sure, probably. But a lot of characters are influenced by people in the writers' lives or even by themselves. Go look at, like, the Ditko stuff for Peter. He draws Peter kind of what he used to look like, what Ditko used to look like when he was younger. That stuff always happens. To me, yeah, we can criticize whether... that kind of marketing works, you know, forcing out a character to just give him a legacy name. That's a different discussion, and that's just a publisher editorial thing. But there is, like, to me, there is nothing wrong when they were, like, narratively in the stories where Carol gets the Captain Marvel name months before this, and then we get Kamala coming in. That there is no... If you don't like Kamala, that's fine, but I'm not going to, like, sit here and entertain the idea that there's this giant cabal that everybody is specifically trying to fuck up all of your stuff. I've never thought that. If you guys, you can go look at all of my writing on bounding. You know I'm not a knee-jerk reactionary. I actually engage with the stuff, and I look for the context, and I know how creativity goes and the business. So there's way too much here for me to just go, oh, she, they screwed over Carol for her. Carol got an upgrade. Captain like, that's a good name. That's a crazy name for her to get. Okay, they gave Kamala's name to upgrade. They wanted to boost Kamala by upgrading Carol? I'm not, the logic doesn't follow there. We have to make way too many assumptions in logic and leave out too many facts for that to even remotely start coming into play. Yes, when they will pre-plan things, that's what an editorial does. That's what, I'm sure Marvel right now is sitting on scripts for the events for the next 2 years. But that doesn't mean it's bad writing when it happens, or that, there's a secret plot to do this. It's, sorry, man. I just can't agree with any of that. 1970s web shooter, 100% yes to it. And then, yeah, even, yes, he has one, though. Like, that's what I know that I'm getting to it after, like, I was talking about it. So I'm just being ridiculous. But that's what I'm saying. Japanese Spidey only had one. It was one single web shooter. And that's kind of the charm of it, too. I don't know how many of you guys have actually engaged with the Toku Spider-Man show. It's the most double-edged sword, like, thing in the world to me, because I think it is a great production. Like, it's a genuinely good Toku show. It is a fun entry in the Spider-Man mythos. It is a great curiosity sort of that, like a look into that period of time when everybody was trying to find their footings with this stuff. It's all fantastic. Unfortunately, I do think that by no fault of Toei or Marvel or the show or anything, but probably more the fault of, stupid anti-Asian fucking Americans that we always complain about, or that I always complain about. I'm not going to put that on you guys. I'll take my racism on my shoulders. But because of those people, they just always share the clips of Toei Spider-Man and go like, oh, so wacky. That's, isn't that crazy? And it's that attitude that probably even more so than Power Rangers, because Power Rangers actually introduced it to kids and brought it into the sphere. But like, that show, unfortunately, the reaction to it has killed, or at least brought to the brink of death, any hope of Toku being a very seriously considered genre out here. You know what I mean? Like, it's just nothing we could have done about it. It's the natural flow of time. I mean, blame G4, X-Play, Adam Sessler for all of their Japanese xenophobia. That's who I'll blame for this. Let's see. Right, exactly, Oki. It's worth noting that Peter Parker crafts all his gear on a budget. And that's not yes, Oki is right, and that's sort of what I was leaning on. But then the other part I wanted to make sure everybody walks away with, and not to say you didn't, Oki, I'm just clarifying on my own end. Don't worry. Anytime I do that, guys, I'm not talking down to you or like saying like, oh, you're stupid. I'm just saying like, okay, this thought came up. Let's hit it. I'm not like I said, I'm not averse to him getting rich or learning, making better devices. That feels natural to me because he is so smart. If you gave him a lab with something, like in Marvel Spider-Man 1, the video game, I can see him making lots of fancier gadgets. But what I don't see him doing is bulking himself up in any way or adding to what he's doing. Because sort of like you wouldn't see Daredevil adding to what he's doing, because they are so reliant on their agility in their fighting, right? Any bulk is going to weigh them down, throw things off, just be awkward. And so, yeah, I think like the simplicity, and then, I mean, I could go into a whole thesis about like what does his suit mean to like his character and his setting and all of that sort of stuff in a meta sense, but nobody wants to hear my stupid like English thesis. So Josh says, oh no, I hate the green neon lights. It would have been perfect if it was just the Web of Shadow suit. I always thought I hated him too, but then I played this game. Like, I didn't like that suit or this suit until I played the game, and the way they render it here and the very subtle glow they give to like the eyes and the chest, it's one of those things where like it all just comes together for me, and it just for whatever reason, this is where I go, perfect. Again, guys, you know me, my inner Filipino. You know, we Filipinos just want to keep finding treasure all the time. So when there's shiny shit, a foil thing, a translucent thing, a glow, how many times have we been on the stream and I'm just like, I don't want to buy this, but I'm gonna fucking buy it because it's foil. So again, not for everybody's taste, but this is at least the ideal of where I would want an advanced spider suit to go. Keep the glow. Maybe, you know, Josh doesn't like the green. Maybe we can talk about throwing in a brighter white one or something. I don't know. But this is like just the general outline of what I would put for a future Spider-Man suit. Fine, Josh, I'll pull it up. And while I do that, Sakura says, Raimi's suit is still the best modern Spider-Man suit. Classic but modern look to it. Okay, I agree. And I actually... it's weird for me with the Raimi suit. Because it's my favorite of the movie ones, and I like the design. But it's also now... It's so old that in my head, like, you know, 2006 for Spider-Man 3, it sort of has, like, started fading into that period in my head where now I, like, consider it, like, an old costume. I have, like Andrew Garfield suits. I both really love both of those, and I think the one in number 2 is peak Spider-Man costume design. I really like his original in number 1 with the yellow eyes. I know nobody else does, but that to me, I would say is like the best modern reinterpretation, but I'll put that aside because I know it's so out there. And then like, so it's a combination of, we got the Garfield suit, we got, you know, Spider-Man trilogy is like 20 years old, and just by virtue of, and this is probably, like, this is better, and we should go back to this, but this is just the fact, Toby, you know, didn't have to fucking juice out as much as we make our actors do nowadays, right? So he fills out the suit a little more as like a man. Obviously, we have the scenes where he wakes up and he's all buff. We know he's got that, but he was a little chubbier, a little rounder in the face, and so it's all working against it in my head where I go just like, that's the old guy suit now, even though I love it. Bring it back in a way where it's being worn by somebody new, or not somebody new, sorry, but like, I don't know, it needs just a slight refresh. Just either like bringing it back into the modern consciousness or whatever. But yeah, I still love it. I still love that suit to fucking death. I will never not love it. Oki says, I don't care for the glowing spider and chrome textures, but I otherwise dig the sleeker web patterns and streamlined angles. See, I think this will probably be, or what am I saying? I'm clearly, like, I will admit, I'm going to probably be the odd man one out here, because from what I'm hearing from all you guys, like, what is at work here is clearly, it's my anime, robo, toku, shiny Filipino treasure love, right? Because all of that is working for me, where I'm like, this is perfect, and you're all going like, what are you talking about? I'm about to unsubscribe. I'm never watching this show again. Oh my god. Dude, Josh, it is like not easy to find a picture of that suit. Oh, there we go. See, this is so funny because look at so this is from a Reddit thread. You can look at what they said. Am I the only one who likes the Web of Shadows suit? Is this the one you're talking about? Just the default one? Because this is why I didn't say anything, because I don't like, I think this one sucks. What this one feels like to me, it feels like a toy from the like 90s, or the 90s cartoon with the super glossy paint job and the overly black lines. Like, that's what it feels like to me. Yeah, default Web of Shadows. I think you're crazy. Web of Shadows does a lot right. There's something very alien and weird about their model and their aesthetic. Everything is badly proportioned and doesn't feel right. And we can see it here, and it'll be super brief, but check out Spidey. If you guys stand up right now, right? If you stand up, just like I'll do, and you put your hands down by your side, your fingertips probably stop, on average, let's say like 3 to 4 inches above your kneecap. And I'm saying that as somebody with like super long legs. So for you, anybody out there, it might vary. Here, if Spidey were to stand up, his arms go down to his side, and he's probably got his entire thigh left for like before you get to the knee, which is weird. And then you get up to, you know, his arms, the way the lighting is going, it makes him look super skinny. And then the lighting engine also really details his like neck over here, and it just makes me feel like he's skinny and he's dying. I have seen it. I've played Web of Shadows. Get the fuck out of my. Excuse me? Did Mav play a Spider-Man game? I will go to, where are you, Mexico? I will go there right the hell now. I don't care if I get let back into my country and I get stuck in a fucking El Salvador gulag. I will go down there and kick your ass. That is unacceptable, my friend. Josh says, MCU Daredevil looks like crap because they're just CGing the action scenes. I mean, maybe. I haven't seen Born Again yet, so I can't offer that. I still think his suit rules. Like, just objectively, anytime Charlie's wearing the suit, he's one of the better live action translations I've seen in a long time. So, in motion he kind of sucks, I guess, but I still think he's one of the best MCU designs. Timon says, imagine a Marvel in Japan amalgam series. Common Spider, Gundam Man, Fantastic Sentai. So, I would love that. That core idea that Timon is putting out there, if they did like a series of one-shots that were like, you know, anime-y this, and it was a specific mashup. Because remember, guys, they've done anime before. They did do the manga-verse, trust me. As the only guy on the planet who is collecting them right now, I know it exists, trust me. But, so, like, I would love to see that. I think those sort of, like, mashup, like, hard mashups, even if it wasn't, like, actually, like, on the cover, Kamen Rider and Spider-Man, you fudge it really hard where you do, like, Spider-Man Goes Japan or something, and you just give the guy, whoever it is, free reign to do, you basically tell him, do Kamen Rider, put a spider on it. But, to that point, I will say this, you can't get a lot of the stuff that you're talking about right here, like Gundam Man, Common Spider, all of the manga collabs that Marvel has done over the past few years, from, I forget, like Trick Reverse, I think it is, the one with Spider-Man and Iron Man by the late Yu-Gi-Oh mangaka, the Deadpool Samurai manga, I forget what it is, but like there's one where Dr. Octopus accidentally becomes a young lolly girl instead of like swapping into Spider-Man's brain for the superior, so we get that. All of that stuff has been really, really fun, and it actually delivers a lot on this because those were all handled by Japanese creators. I would also highly recommend, if you're looking for something that's that sort of mashup-y, Peach Momoko's Ultimate X-Men, because she is Armor, who is the main mutant in that book, she basically makes her a Kamen Rider in all but name. Like, she does a Rider kick, she does a Rider transformation. It's pretty cool, and yeah, so there is that stuff out there, and yes, I agree, it is always good. All right, Josh, that's a better one I can get behind. Let's see. The Ultimates. Where's a good shot? I guess this is probably. Wow, it's a TikTok. I'm not opening TikTok. I'm not letting the Chinese in here. You fucking joking? There are like no. What is like games from before 2005? Nobody uploaded a screenshot ever. Like, what is happening here? Ultimate Spider-Man screenshot. Everything is so small. Jamie, pull it up. Pull it up in a correct size. I guess this will probably be the best shot we can look at, unfortunately. Yeah, bear with me, guys, but even I feel ashamed about using this one. This thing is low quality. But I actually really, really like the Ultimate suit in general. They didn't really, break or fix or anything. They made the eyes bigger, as Oki pointed out here. I think Spidey should have big eyes as a teenager, but smaller ones as an adult, matching actual human growth. I like that. I here I counter offer you with this. I'm sort of torn, right? Because I like the idea that when he starts out, his suit is very serious because I'm a wrestler. Take me seriously. I'm a big man. I'm gonna go join the Fantastic Four, so I can see his eyes being smaller, more mask like. I kind of think that his eyes should get bigger as he becomes like an established hero. Never this big for an adult Peter. I think this size right here, Oki, is probably better relegated to younger Peter, at least with the size in the vertical. The horizontal, Todd McFarlane fucked with that all the time. So I don't personally like it, but I know it can be done. And yeah, no, I think those are really cool ideas, but that's one of those things that would only work if we were a manga and we were allowed to just keep going and evolve and not backtrack every 5 days. Yeah, agree with Josh. Power Rangers movie, what a waste of good talent. That disgrace. I don't. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know what Power Rangers has to do with Josh in the suit, so I'm not really gonna address that. I don't know what that is. But yeah, I don't even really know where we were going in this discussion. Oh, look at that. Now I'm just scrolling, but Oki got it. Doctor Doom's strut comes from Iron Man. I don't like where the... Oh, no, you're replying to what... Oh, shit. Yeah, that's the thing, though, right? Here, Oki, I know exactly... What Oki means is, oh, Doom walks like Iron Man? Are they really going to try to play up this multiverse, MCU, Doom is Iron Man variant bullshit? I hear you. And, like, as soon as I realize what you're saying, like, you're probably... Like, I wouldn't say you're off base at all. I see what's on the page, or not this page, because this game is very, very old, but I see how Marvel or how ArcSys handles their games. I see what's on the page here. It's one of those situations where, like, I feel like until otherwise outright confirmed, I can be okay letting them cook. You know what I mean? Like right here, instead of going like, oh shit, Oki, fuck Oki, I'm so worried now, I'll go, all right, Oki, I hear you. And that's a good thing to be aware of. And my head's on a swivel, but I'm still going to sit down and watch the show because we will see. And again, I tell you guys this every time I get really excited about something that would normally we would think is just, shellac it, throw it into the bin. I will take my fell for it again award. If I am proven wrong, I am not above going, yep, I was fucking stupid. I can't believe I bought I bought Star Wars Rogue Galaxy or whatever the fuck that thing is. I'm not going to look up the new Squadrons, Star Wars Squadrons. I did that. I just told you guys, I admitted I bought it full price. I'll take my L's. But yeah, overall, there's just too much in this that makes me go, we're in good hands here. You know what I mean? Like it's a very positive read for me on this one specifically. My comment about the strut was in jest. I know, like I totally read that from you. You were like the tone of yours, at least how I read it, was like, wait a minute, Dr. Doom and Iron Man, Mav, what do you? And that's why I gave the reaction of like, oh, Oki. I know you were joking. There always exists a possibility, particularly with Marvel projects, for Disney, for the executives, for Kevin Feige to step in at any point and go, I need you to do this for the MCU. Because they do that for fucking everything, right? Zeb Wells, I hate him. We know I hate him. But to his, to give him, to be fair, apparently the decision to kill off Kamala, and then, in Spider-Man, after she appears in that book for 8 panels, kill her off there, then revive her literally the next week, that wasn't on Zeb. That was from Kevin going, we're making Kamala a mutant. Who the fuck is going to, you need to make that happen in the comics. Go. And Zeb went, fuck, it's going to be me, huh? I'm the only one who can do, fuck. So, and then Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, if you'll remember that, that game, like I said, mechanically great. The reason it failed on its aesthetics and its visuals is because Disney would not allow, obviously the X-Men, or B, their characters to be depicted in any way that might not make them look cool, so they couldn't make them very cartoony and flashy. And if you guys go watch the cutscenes or whatever, the Marvel characters can't lose. They can be like, they'll be fighting somebody and they might be interrupted by an enemy, like a third party, but they will never be shown losing like a one-on-one fight. So there always does exist that possibility that somebody up there will make the wrong decision and get their hands on something. However, as something like Marvel Rivals shows us, the opposite can also happen, where Marvel says, this studio, particularly an Asian one, you take it, you go, we're not going to say shit. It's a hard place we live in, guys, right? As fans of these things, because I know we've been burned so much, and it would be understandable, and I don't think I might be annoyed, but I couldn't get outright mad if people were so paranoid and going like, I don't know. I get it. But it's also like, we also have to recognize sometimes, like, things could be good. Things could be good. But, wow, okay, so, with that talk on Tokon Souls, we have been going for 3 hours and 45 minutes. I really think we hit most of the stuff that was probably big about this week, which was Tokon Souls and the White Black Panther. I'm sure there are millions of topics that I wanted to get to that I unfortunately didn't. But, I mean, the first hour is always just chatting to you guys, right? We knew that was going to happen, so I'm not even upset about it. I'm just really glad. How about you guys? Did you have fun tonight? I had fun tonight. I thought that this was a particularly fun stream, so I don't have any regrets. But with that being said, it has been 3 hours and 45 minutes. I really need to go to the bathroom. I'm starting to get hungry. You guys are probably all tired of listening to my popping all over the place ranting. I'll give you a break from my nerd ass for a little bit now, and yeah, we can break for tonight. You guys can let's start our weekends. Let's get going. Pray for me that I get a really good draw tomorrow at my pre-release event, because what the fuck is standard? What is standard magic? I don't know what standard magic is, right? So awesome. Yeah, no, I'm glad Oki enjoyed, Zero enjoyed. Everybody else out there, if you're watching it in the VOD, if you're watching along right now, you're watching live and you're just not commenting, I see ya. I love ya. I hope you guys had fun too. And I thank you guys, every single one of you, for coming here tonight, hanging out with me, choosing to spend any amount of your time. Just, that means so much to me, considering how valuable all of our time is. I'm glad you guys are willing to engage with, positive stuff, listen to the facts, and, we can still have fun. We can still make fun of things as long as we're all being intellectually honest and treating each other nice. We can still dunk on things, because things will still happen. Don't worry, guys. This is a good week, right? I'm 900% sure next week is going to be a complete disaster for somebody. Something's going to go wrong. Like, I don't know which entertainment field, but something is going to blow up. But until then, we at least have 2 more days to enjoy of this incredible week we've got going on. As always, guys, you can check out boundingintocomics.com for new news, where stories are going up every single day. We will have a, I guess I can tease this on this show, because if you watch this show and you watch Bounding stuff, I appreciate it, but I also know the overlap is very small, because unfortunately, a lot of our normal readership does not want to hear my even-handedness. I'm sure that comes as no surprise to you guys. But next week, Bounding, you guys know we're already kicking ass. We're about to hit the next level up stage. Josh will be back. He will be editing. He will be back on streams. We also have some other stuff cooking in the pipeline. Should be awesome. So excited to A, have him back, and B, just kick this thing into high gear. So boundingintocomics.com every single day for new news. That's right, my boy is back. I got my second in command here. I've got my war machine here. This thing is about to pop off. I can't wait for you guys to see what we've got cooking. But yes, boundingintocomics.com every day for new news. As always, you can subscribe to me right here on YouTube, which if you're here, I figure you probably already are, but if you're new, as always, hit the like button, subscribe button, the notification button, whatever rings your fancy. As always, this show, Friday nights, we'll be back here for another same Mav time, same Mav channel for another episode of The Good, The Mav, The Ugly. Thursday nights, foil variant over on the channel of the same name. Me and Andrew Rodriguez of the Rippaverse. You guys know him. I don't know why I'm being so formal. But he and I, we get together, we talk about the newest comic book releases of the week and the newest comic book news. So if you're in the mood for some intellectually honest comic book talk, come hang out with us. Come pull up a chair, hit that chat box, and we will let you know what is good, what is bad, or what is good, what is Mav, and what is ugly in comic books. That never really works out right, but hey, fuck it, we're gonna roll with it. Yeah. That's all I've got, guys. I really hope you guys have a good weekend. Please kick it off right. Sakura. Sakura says, I never get tired of you, Spencer. I never get tired of you guys. If this was lucrative, guys, if I could make enough money to support myself just on hanging out with you every day, with streaming or whatnot, I would do it in a heartbeat. Genuinely would do it in a heartbeat. And especially, I wouldn't have gotten to this point if I hadn't had such awesome viewers as all of you who've engaged and kept coming back. And okay, I'm not dying, I promise. It's just been a really good week, and I'm sort of just, I'm rock starring it right now. I don't know. Guys, pray for Mav. I got my Final Fantasy pre-release event tonight or tomorrow. I know I already said it, but I don't know standard. Aside from that, next week, I think next week we'll have a good Mav Ugly, but I think I might use that stream as obviously we'll still talk and we'll still hang out, but I think I'm going to use that stream as a first test for the card game layout that I've been working on and everything, because the Final Fantasy cards will be out, and you guys like Final Fantasy. I like Magic. I like hanging out with you guys while doing stuff. I'll open some packs. We can talk about the cards, yada, yada, yada. Might be cool. But until then, stay safe out there. Take it easy. Go, read something great. Go play something fun. Remember, even though everything is mucked in shit right now, our favorite video games, comic books, movies, franchise, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to point at, everything's on fire right now. But that doesn't mean there isn't still a reason to get up in the morning, things that can put a smile on your face. No black pilling. No serious black pilling. I know the Bounding Stream used to be called Black Pill, but that was an over-the-top reference, and that's why Cider and I changed it, because we knew that's what it was saying. Okay, I'm clearly just ranting. Guys, have a good weekend. I'm sure I will talk to all of you at various points, either in Discord, on Twitter, on YouTube, on real life, on whatever. I'll talk to you all. It's been a blast. Yeah, let's get out of here before I just continue rambling. Take it easy, guys.
As the creator of Mara Jade,
Wait! I am not the creator of Mara Jade, and I want you to get out of this office right now.
I'm sorry, Zeb.
No way.
You brought
No
it on
way.
You brought it on yourself.
I don't want you here.
I'm so
Out.
sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Out.
Ted, I got your voucher.
Out! There.
I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry. We'll have him burned and we'll
I don't
execute
even
him
know
and
who
burned.
that guy is.